Okay.
And then you can see whether or not you were live streaming.
Yeah, it does say stream health, receiving your content. Okay. So, only 52 minutes late. I just got to check. I just got to test the audio to make sure it's actually working. Oh, I think it is. I've got them in my fridge up here. Right. So I want to start off by apologising to you lot because this is well over, well, pretty much an hour late. So it's my fault completely. Ollie's been out. He actually didn't know about the live stream, and I had my phone turned on silent. So everything going on from there, completely my fault. So I apologise profusely about that. So yeah, so I'm really really sorry about that. I'm using a dual monitor setup up here, so I've got YouTube streaming. Oh, it's lag. Okay, so I've got YouTube streaming. I'm looking at OBS at the same time on the same monitor, and I've got the chat on the other one. So I'm just sort of trying to.
So the white is the better.
No, volume's fine. Is anyone so out of interest at the moment? Is anyone noticing any sort of lagging issues with the audio? Are you hearing myself back, or is it all okay? Just want to make sure because this is a fresh setup because this is like fresh monitor. Like so, I've got a condenser mic set up. I've really tried to fine tune all the things. So I just want to make sure everything's okay. So yeah. So right, okay. So anyway, so I know sort of everyone came here for a Q and A with me. Um, yeah, so we'll just sort of see if I can answer any questions for you, what I can try and answer. It won't be, unfortunately, it probably won't be like the full hour and a half like we were hoping, but it'll go. It'll go. But yeah, so I know that the basic information on the stream description is wrong. Like this was literally just thrown together, just like, ugh. So, right, okay, so it's very quiet. Right, okay, I will adjust the microphone level so that hopefully that should be a bit louder. Okay, huge lag. Any chance you can turn a volume? Okay, volume should be a little bit better now. So right, where are we going to start? I'm just having a look through some of the comments which have been said so far. I apologise, I'm not looking at the camera when I'm doing this. So So we also use the glitch with his mouth and words don't line up. Yeah, I'm not too sure what that actually is. It might be content receiving back on your end, because when I'm checking the stream live as well, it all does match up, so it seems okay. Right. Okay, yeah, refresh your page might actually work. Yeah, it's probably a really good idea. Right. So hopefully, if you do have any other issues with audio, with video, let me know. I'll adjust settings, see how it goes. Right, okay, so how's everyone doing? All right, as far as I'm aware. There's like sort of lots of different things going on at the moment with sort of like personal life and works and everything else. But as far as I'm aware, yeah, everything's going pretty well at the moment. Am I supposed to be getting video? You should, Kirsten. Yeah, you should get video. Okay, so audio on OBS. I might actually put in my headphones or something, but I don't think I need to. But I'll leave those on the side just in case. Right, okay, so let's start. Anyone new in the system? As far as I'm aware, no. But there's changes which happen all the time. But as far as I'm aware at the moment, there's not anything that I'm aware of. How did you guys meet? And was Jess the first one of the group you met? Yeah, Jess was. Jess/Jake, the first one. I met her years ago in the town centre. I was on my way back home, and I met her when she'd just finished like a production on a drama group. So that was how I first met her. So that was quite interesting, actually. That was really, really cool. Oh, hi, me waving. Hi, Amy. Right. Let's have a look. Is Ed back? Yeah, no, Ed's back. Yeah, it's been back a little bit. Yeah, Ed's okay. So all's well on that end. Sorry, I'm like sort of having a look at comments as well because my stream is going a little bit quick for certain things. All right, make you feel hit 1 million views. That's awesome. Yeah, to be fair, the milestones that the Jess's channel and the videos have made recently have been fantastic. It's really, really nice. There will be more content. It's just trying to find the time to produce the comment, record, and stuff like that with everything going on with work, because Jess has been working absolutely mad amount of work recently, to be fair. Okay. Right. When is my birthday? My birthday's in October. I'm a Libra, just in case anyone has anything to do with that sort of side of things. But the middle of October is my birthday. I'm new. Has the chat stopped? No, it hasn't stopped. That's okay, good. Do I worry that Jess might disappear permanently and an alter take her place? It's not uncommon for that to happen in some systems. I am aware that it's happened before with other people. It's not anything that I am afraid that will happen. Reason being, Jess is very forefront in the whole system itself. Generally, when I've met people who, or have been made aware of certain systems that operate like that, where an alter is taken over completely because the person is no longer there, it's normally down to other means, like that person was not there since childhood pretty much, or was gradually being phased out. But Jess is there predominantly, mainly because of work and home life. So it's not anything I'm ever worried about. Becky, what did I do to my noodles? I bloody well ate them, and they were fantastic. Even though they did turn really greasy and oily when I microwaved them. Who's around the most out of everyone in the system? Out of everyone in the system, Jess being host, Jess is, but that really does vary. It really goes through different stages, different events, different times of the year, and social situations like that really do change it. And I realised I've got a cowlick going on, sorry. But yeah, it differs. There's not an equal split. So if I was to say anyone recently who's been out more, it's probably Ollie, to be honest. He's been out a lot more frequent than, pardon me, anyone else has. Right, okay. Am I okay with me being made into a Sims 3 character? Yeah, just as long as you call me something horrendous. No, I really don't mind. If you want to make me in The Sims, by all means, you can do whatever. You can do things. I was going to say you could just draw an object on my head, but you can't customize characters like that. Who's my favourite alter other than Jess? Oh, please don't do this to me. Oh, Clay. Why? Why, Clay? Why make me answer that question, mate? Or lass? Which, yeah, yeah. Actually, Tara, I'll just put this out there. I use dude and mate as a gender-neutral term. I just want to put that out there. I've got some trans friends and everything else, and I've met some people who identify as that, and I use the word dude, and I use dude as a gender-neutral thing. Just in case I say it and anyone's offended, that's just why. But anyway, Clay, so who's my favourite other alter? It depends on the situation. I've always said Ed is my favourite, always, and I connect really, really well with him. But it differs on different things. I get along so well with Jake. I literally in love with every single one of the boys. But sort of, I don't know. It really, really differs. I'm in tune with them in different ways. Jake massively, Jamie obviously, and Ollie as well. It's nice because sort of, as I've seen Ollie grow up, everything's changed from there. Like, he's been using my gaming computer for the last few days since I've adjusted around my games room before I decorate it. It's been going on one of those. So yeah, it's been interesting. It differs. So it does. But yeah, Ed's probably my favourite. I can't deny it. How's Jess's job going? Really, really well. Yeah, her job's going fantastic, to be honest. It's really, really good at the moment. I can't really say much more else apart from that. June 10th, I meant, or October 6th. The US calendars are different. Mommy Dearest. What original comment did you make, Mommy Dearest? June 6th or October? I was trying to see what the original was. I can't see it. Sorry, I do apologise in case I messed that. Would you be my Sims key for a character? As I already answered that one. Is your almost brother relationship with Ollie ever confusing due to it being your wife's body? No, no, fair enough. Because like I'll sit and cuddle with Ollie, like and later give head kisses and stuff like that, just chill out. But like, yeah, it's not done in a weird way. But like, yeah, so like, Ollie is like a very young brother to me, to be honest. I feel very protective of him. It's the same as my nephew. I got a 21-year-old nephew and an 18-year-old niece, and I feel a 17-year-old niece. And I feel very, very close to those two, so I protect them all in the same sort of way. So I do the same thing with Ollie. Who's around the least out of everyone? Again, Kat, actually, that differs as well. I would say Jake, more so recently. Again, it depends. Jake more so over the last couple of months. But yeah, that's what I would say. Any advice on trying to learn math on the night before the exam from Lossell? I mean, you're... no. I was going to say cheat, but that's not a good thing to do. If you've got a label maker, print a label on a Coke bottle, give you all your formulas and answers on there, take it in with you, job done. It's really not solid advice, to be fair. Did I have any issues adjusting to married life? No. Like, literally, I wear my ring on a necklace around my neck. Because of my job, I use my hands a lot for work. So I don't like the idea of my fingers getting caught in certain areas, because if I have to then rip the ring off, I'm going to tear my finger off with it. But no, apart from that, no other things. Nothing changed. Everything was the same. How did I meet Ollie? Oh, I'm going to be honest, Adam. I can't remember. I really can't remember. I'm not even kidding you. It's really bad, actually. I'm not generally. I'm not the one who was born to this body. No, well done on you for admitting that, generally. That's Angeli hurt. But yeah, no, that's you're not the only one. You're not the only one. It differs with other people. Can Jess pick which altar she wants to appear? Yes and no. If that it makes sense. I really, really apologise for. It's not a great one. Sorry, there's so many questions. I'm like so far behind on the chat at the moment. Bloody hell. So I'm just sort of like going through. Right, what is our job? I work as an engineer. I work as a mobile engineer, so I go around fixing things for people. It's about as much as I'm going to go into it on that side of things. So yeah, would you ever do a meetup? I mean, potentially at some points. If we ever decide to like probably go to like a video event or anything like that, probably would arrange it beforehand. Or if it's explicitly just to meet Jess and stuff, because of both of our sort of social anxiety with certain bits, I suppose that would be a bit of an awkward one to do. But yeah, I mean, it's potentially something that could be done in the future. But yeah, it would differ. So how do I handle situations with, for example, if I'm kissing Jess and a different alter appears? Do I need to explain it to the individual? Are you quick seeing the change in mannerisms? Right, so yeah, actually, so everyone, every person that suffers with VID changes differently. But if you've been with them that long, you sort of learn to find the mannerisms and body changes and what the body does or what happens when changing. I've sort of learnt when Jess switches. When rapid switches happen, it's a bit more of a difficult one, but I try not to have any sort of intimate moments or anything like that with that. Probably the most it'll go to is holding hands or a cuddle. But yeah, I won't do anything like that if there's anything like that going on. And if I notice a switch is happening, I stop what I'm doing straight away. That goes for everything. Did Jess tell me about a DID when I met, or did you find out another way? It came a little while afterwards, I suppose. Actually, we were friends first. And then it sort of gradually got involved into public conversation. And at the time, we didn't know a name for a condition. It took a little while to find out the name for the condition. And when it was like a breath of fresh air. Jess realised she wasn't the only one with this. So it was really, really nice. It was a lot of learning on both parts, really. How long have I been with Jess? Just over 10 years now. It was 10 years in October. Yeah, crazy. Pretty mad, actually. It's pretty awesome. Let's scroll up. I'm just going to scroll up through the chat and just pick a random one. Who is your best gamer partner in co-op games? See, difficult one. Because a lot of Xbox One games now are single player. They don't do a lot of co-op stuff. But if I'm... it's mainly Ollie. Like, apart from Ollie and Jake are really the only gamers. Jess now and again, but Jess has really got to be in the mood. Jamie's not a gaming person. Ed is not a gaming person. Jake is one for trying new stuff, but he's not. He's more of like he likes his RPGs. same as Ollie does. So stuff like Skyrim is a major one. So it's mainly single player stuff. But my co-op partner normally is my best friend Nathan. He's normally my go-to co-op guy that I do it with. Apart from if I'm playing Sniper Elite online, in which case I've got my Snipey Boys partner Steven. So yeah. What does switching look like? Dana, that really differs on person to person and systems. It's a difficult one. I can't even do an impression of it. Sometimes if you notice a switch, it might be like a blank expression come on or like staring off into space. But again, it differs depending on the system. So yeah, that's probably about as much as I can go into that for you, to be honest. I don't know much more. Do I talk with other system spouses as well? Other system spouses, any kind of partner or friends? Yeah, I've met a really few good systems now, and to be fair, they've all been really, really great. Yeah, I talk to the spouses a bit. They're all different as well. All the DoD systems are different. Some of them are same-sex partners. Some of them are polyamorous. Some of them are straight couples, or or some variation of that as well. So yeah, it's similar and different. Right. I'm going to scroll through the comments again just to have a look. Do I want kids? Yes, I do. It's probably about as much as I can go into that. I definitely want kids. I'd like a race car first, but that's not going to happen. I just don't have the money. So, but that's what the dream would be. Yeah, but that'd be awesome. So yeah, actually saying that the do you like kids, do you want children stuff is actually like a couple of questions I asked. So yeah, I'm glad I managed to cover that one at least. In a system with my partner who hates my altar, what do I do? Riza Rodriguez, I can tell you what, that's a bit of a difficult one I suppose to deal with in a way. Actually, I'm just sort of trying to think about that. If they hate if they hate them or if they dislike them, there may be a reason for it. Do they hate everyone that's in the system, or is it one particular person? If it's one particular person, try and ascertain why. Try to talk to them, or try to understand from their point of view why it may be that way. If they've just got a general disliking for that one for no reason, I think in regards to that, it's probably your partner that will have to do the learning from that and adapt and try to get around that. You're not going to like everyone you meet, are you? I think that's the biggest thing to say with this. Just because the alters are a part of the person that you're with doesn't mean you've got to like every single one of them. I'm really, really lucky in my respect that I do. I like every single one of them implicitly, which is wonderful. But you are going to get instances when you meet a group of people. Say you were to go out with one of your best friends and you meet another group of their friends. There's going to be one person you go, I'm not quite fussed on you. But you are going to get that with alters as well. That is going to happen. And you'll have the same thing where your alters might not like your partner or friend for whatever reason. And that's going to happen. They all unique personalities. They're all themselves. I just sort of hope that may help a little bit. But I'd talk to them to try and understand from their side of things as to why they don't like them. And try get them to talk to you. So hopefully it's a learning experience for the both of you. Kat has just found, what is my favourite... Oh, sorry, no, Kat's question was, what is my favourite thing about Jess? Anna said, actually, sorry. Literally too much to list. I like the fact she's a really, really unique individual, and I like the fact she's intelligent and beautiful. And literally, that's a question like that gets an answer like that. It's such a broad thing. There's not anything I dislike about Jess. I think that's the big thing. What's my favourite colour? Purple. Or a variation of it. I go through different stages, but purple's my favourite colour. Does Jess want babies? Jess does want babies as well. It's one of those things. We have got a very family orientated mind. So this is what we've got. We've got a cat, got a dog, guinea pigs. Yeah, we do want it. Have I ever had a serious fight with an alter? I haven't. No. When I was younger and I was still sort of learning about different things, I had a couple of different anger issues when I was younger, not in any sort of nasty way. So I probably had a few spouts like of emotion and stuff, like sort of raising my voice, but it wasn't ever intended at the altars. It was like different situations. Like my road rage used to be really, really bad when I was younger, but I sort of got over that. But no, we've never had any arguments or major incidences. No, never, certainly never a physical fight or a shouting match. It doesn't happen. Really, really doesn't happen. Do I prefer coffee or tea? Right, okay, and that's like a really weird question for me to get excited about. my best friend always takes the piss, and sorry, I didn't mean to swear. My best friend takes the mick, and basically always says I get passionate about everything, and I do. But recently, more coffee. Coffee's been my go-to drink for a couple of months now, but more so in the last week. I don't know why. I just went off tea. I think it was probably a really bad batch of tea bags that I had, and it just put me off it completely. Can't go wrong with coffee as long as it's good. Sorry, I know I'm making stupid noises while doing it. So has Jess and her alters improved with informing the public about DID? Yes, massively. So I wouldn't just say it's just Jess. Like the entire community as a whole, like down to a very cannot remember her name. Is it Kat or Kate? The lady years ago, sort of during the 80s, that was like a big standing point for a DID and learning from there. So it's gone from there. But yeah, Jess has made a huge improvement on general people. Certain friends of mine that know about the condition have learned a hell of a lot more by watching Jess's YouTube videos, old and new, but also speaking to her about the condition and myself. People online have done the same thing, but I do think the public has been informed a lot more, especially with the fact that she's been successful with doing some of the documentaries she has done with the BBC and Channel 4 and some other ones, and again with some other alters as well, being quite lucky with getting into doing documentaries, and not just ones which go, look at this ridiculous condition, look how funny it is, haha. Really, really well structured, well written documentaries. And I do think it has informed the public a lot about a very misunderstood condition. I think, to be fair, for the majority of people, they only knew about the condition from movies like Split, for example, or when it's made comments of in pop culture references and stuff. So yeah, I think definitely Jess and a lot of other alters systems have made a huge impact in a positive way on the condition. Do I ever miss Jess when the alters were out for a long time? Yeah, Michael, yeah, massively. There was a period when Jess was in university for, I think, 3.5, 4 months. I actually didn't see Jess. I'm not even joking. This was years ago. And I was living down in South Wales. Jess was up in North Wales in uni. And for every 3.5 months around that time period, I didn't see Jess, not a single word or anything. It was the boys that were completely out. They were taking the classes, they were socialising a lot. So yeah, that stuff does get difficult, but you get periods like that where it happens, or you get periods on the alternate side of things where you won't see any of the boys for a long time or any other alters. So yeah, that differs massively. But yeah, it's always quite concerning in a way, because you worry sort of then as well. If you don't see a particular alter for a long time, you're left wondering, well, have they merged with someone else and you haven't been made aware of it, or you don't know, or have they just disappeared? You don't know. And I suppose that's always a worry, and that's one thing I'm never particularly going to look forward to if that eventually does happen. I hope it doesn't, because I've gotten so used to all of them. But it's something that happens in the past. People gain alters, people lose alters over their lifetime. So yeah, it does happen. It's something I am worried about. I don't ever want it to happen. I don't want to do the typical thing of a normal family, if that makes sense. I think a family's pretty normal, to be honest, but that's sort of from what I've learned. So yeah. Do I have an opinion on integration? I think for a lot of people it's a fantastic thing that can work really, really well. But I think you as an individual and whoever your T is has got to be sort of there in a positive light with that. It can't be forced upon you. You can't have someone just to go, your system's bloody blah, you need to integrate. You can't have that done. It's got to be on you. You've got to be happy doing it. And if you're not happy doing it, you're not ready to integrate. You can't force it to happen. You're trying to undo years of work that your brain has done to do certain things and help you cope. You can't just fuse it all back together and expect it to work. It's like a prime example, the Japanese pottery. I cannot remember the name of the actual process, but if you get a broken vase in Japan, they will repair it with gold, but it makes a broken thing prettier again. That's not a rushed process. That takes time to be able to heal that pot. That's probably a really good euphemism that I would use in regards to doing integration. So yeah, that's but it's not something easy. So yeah. We went from 8 to 22 in 6 months from Rachel. I mean, that's a prime example. Systems can increase in size dramatically depending on the circumstances and everything else. And again, you can lose numbers, and you might find that an altar that has been with you for say 10, 12, 20 years, whatever else, suddenly disappears. But you might find there's either a new one or one person has gained both of their traits. So it'd be like if Jamie and Ed fused together, you'd have both of their traits in one person. It'd be a new individual, but if one of them merged to the other, it's always worrying, but it can happen. It's called Kintsugi. Brooke, thank you. I knew the name, but I could not remember how it was pronounced, what it was called. But Kintsugi, and it's a bit off topic, but if anyone doesn't know what it is, look up Kintsugi. I honestly, it's wonderful. It's actually a really, really beautiful thing. Look it up. That's my euphemism for how I would probably say integration's like. But I could be completely wrong. I'm not a psychotherapist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not anything like that. So please don't take my word as gospel. Kintsugi, yes, again, mystic, repair with gold. Yes, it's beautiful. It's really nice. Naui, I'm a friend of integration. If you are a system, that's understandable. I do not blame you. It's probably quite a daunting idea, to be honest, for a lot of people, but it in some places, if you're ready for it, it can help. But just take step by step. It's a healing process at the end of the day. Batasai Ken, I did touch upon how I met Jess earlier, but it's also in a few of the documentaries and videos we've done in the past, but I'll touch on it. She was doing her and Jake, I didn't know it was Jake at the time, but her and Jake had done a play, if that makes sense, on drug use for part of a school thing years ago, and I met her when she'd finished from that. So yeah, that was basically it. How did I meet her alters? One by one. It wasn't sort of like, oh yeah, by the way, I have this. It took a long time for us to even together just to try and find a name for the condition. And when Jess found that out, she was so relieved and happy about the fact that it wasn't just her suffering from it. Any of your advice on people with DID finding someone as amazing as you about it? I don't really know. I've got my downsides as the person as well, and not everyone is not perfect. But at the same time, I think we're one of those things with any health condition, physical or mental, you've got to be willing to learn about it. You've got to be willing to be a part of it. You've got to do a lot of soul searching and a lot of thinking with it. You can't just carry on as normal as if you were talking to one of your friends. The whole situation does change. You have to learn and adapt. It sounds really silly and it's a really bad analogy and a really bad comparison. But if you were to have a friend who suddenly became disabled or anything else, you've got to sort of change and work around them. But after you do it for so long, it becomes normal. It's just one of those things. It's really easy. Do any of the alters get jealous? I mean, yeah. People, yeah, everyone's going to get jealous. People do. It's a natural human emotion. Ed does a little bit more than anyone else. But again, it's a natural human emotion. Everyone gets jealous. Let's have a... Sorry, I'm just looking through again like this now. Is Ollie like a child or nephew to you in any way, or is he just like another mate? I'd say like a mixture of all of it, really. He's a mate. He's technically, I suppose if you want to give it a term, I'd probably be his godfather, if that makes sense. But like, it's definitely more of like, I would say a younger brother friend sort of approach to things, definitely. Who do you think DID will influence, if at all, your parenting style one day? Oh, wait, hold on. If at all, your parents... How do I think DID will influence my parenting style one day? Being patient. I used to be. I used to be quite an impatient person. I used to want results now, and that's only changed even very recently. But you just sort of give things patience for things. Things will adapt and learn. I definitely don't want to make mistakes that my parents made with me when I was younger. So my parenting style that I want to adapt when I eventually become a dad is gonna go from there like that. Are you ever confused as to who is present? Not anymore with Jess's system, no. Actually, now and again I might be a little bit wrong, but actually what I can do is I can walk into a room. If I've been in work all day and Jess is home early, or I've been out and Jess is at home, or she's out with friends, pardon me, I can walk up to her and I'd say 9 times out of 10 I'll be right in going, hey Jake, how's it going? And he'd be like, how the hell did you know it was me? It's just one of those things you learn after like the long length of time I've known them. You learn posture, sitting positions, way like mannerisms, how they hold their phones, stupid things like that. I say stupid, it's not stupid, but it's one of those things again you learn. But yeah, you just sort of go from there. Do you think it's weird that I see my 6-year-old little as my son regarding the fact that I, the host, is 15? No, it's not, because when... it differs. Some alters... right, so this is the thing. You get some alters that age, some that don't. And that'll differ between systems. You'll have them which are constantly stuck at an age group, or they fluctuate, or ones which do progressively age, like Jess's do. But there were for years where Jess's didn't. I think, if I'm right in saying, I think it was Ollie, didn't actually age for some time. And all of a sudden he started aging and started catching up, because in the situation, Ollie is actually Jake and Jamie's son. Albeit, yes, they are of age to do it. But no, I don't find it weird. No, if that's the way that it works, that's the way it works. Sorry, Ed and Jamie, not Jake and Jamie. Jake's bloody brother. Sorry. I was a faux pas on my part. Sorry. Sort of like, I'm still new to the whole like streaming thing. Apart from now and again doing a few games on Twitch, which is very few and far between, I'm not used to doing this. So do me and Jess binge watch TV shows together? Right, so we used to a little bit, and then I sort of fell off the bandwagon with it, and there's a lot of shows that I don't particularly like that Jess likes. But recently we really have, and I wanted to get Jess into not watching anime again, but I started watching a bit more anime, and I really wanted Jess to watch one of my favourites, which is One Punch Man. So we started last week, binge watched the entire. Jess watched the first part of the first episode and went, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be into this." Made her continue watching it. Absolutely fell in love. Literally, by the end of the first episode, she was like, "Can we watch more? Like, please." And One Punch Man is one of my massive things, like what am I doing? My favourite things in the world. But I just like the amount of like sort of homages to other anime, like first episode being like a massive P-take of Attack on Titan, like, oh, but it's great. It's really, really cool. So we've been doing that. I'm trying to think what else we watched. I'm trying to get her to watch some mech anime, because I'm a massive like Gundam Wing sort of person, but at the same time, Gurren Lagann is one of my favourite animes of all time. But I started watching that with Jess earlier, and I didn't watch it with Jess, I was watching it with Ollie, and we're about 4 episodes in, and he's a bit touch and go with it, so, but it's one of my favourites. I'm hoping to try and get him into it, so yeah. But One Punch Man is fantastic. What is Ollie's what is Ollie's all-time favourite cartoon show? Right, that differs actually. Adventure Time's a huge one. Regular Show is another one, but not as much, because it's more Regular Show has a lot more adult tones. But I would also say a big one for that is like Jake and Ollie have also got a thing with Courage the Cowardly Dog. More Jake. I don't know. Ollie's, I would probably say, is probably going to be Adventure Time, even though he's further behind it than I am. And I've only just noticed there's a little bit of lag with the video. That's because of the lighting situation. If the light was brighter, it wouldn't be so bad. So I just wanted to make you all aware. What anime am I watching right now? So as I said, me and Jess are me and Ollie are currently watching Gurren Lagann. Let's have a look. Attack on DC said Attack on Titan. Yeah, I love Attack on Titan, but although the second season I haven't watched it yet, so I'm still a bit far behind on that. I got to about, I'd probably say on the manga, probably I guess episode 3-4 of the anime, but I'm not there yet. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is one of my favourites. Yeah, I know I'm straying off topic for Jess questions and stuff, but I'm going to mix between the two to try and make me feel a bit more comfortable, if that's all right. Amazing World of Gumball. Right, Matt, yes, 100%. That show, I know it's got a big thing. I personally think Amazing World of Gumball is so underrated. I know it does so much for pop culture in terms of people who like cartoons, and it really appeals to a lot of things. Especially with that internet argument one with the you need to check your privilege episode. Oh my good God. That cartoon was not made for children. Not a chance. Not a chance. Right, let me have a quick... Sorry, I apologise. Like I said, I'm going to mix between questions. Over the Garden Wall. I actually don't know what that is. Is that an anime or a cartoon? I'm just Googling it, just to try and have a look a second. Over the Garden Wall. Ooh! Oh, is that a Studio Ghibli thing? No, it is not. Oh, right. I know the animation style of that. Right. No, I've actually never watched it. I know the animation style looking at the pictures, but I've never seen it. Right. Hi, guys. Who is currently here with me? Ollie's here, but he's not in the room, if that makes sense. Like, this is a live stream for sort of me to answer questions and stuff. But, yeah, but Ollie's around. Yeah, Chandra, right. Yeah, Rick and Morty's a huge one. Like, that's one of my favourite shows. Ollie's actually not allowed to watch it because Jamie's told me he's not allowed to because of the how adult it is. He may have watched every single episode. I have no idea why. I'm not having any point of that. But I'm also a huge Rick and Morty fan because I've cosplayed as Rick at a few events, and I have some of the pop figures for it as well. And I made my own portal gun, but it needs redoing. Um, Oh, Gravity Falls. Kitsune. Yes. No, Gravity Falls. I have actually never made Ollie or Jess or anyone watch Gravity Falls, but that's one of my favourites. And I was actually really upset that it ended after, was it 2 seasons? 2 seasons? I was quite upset about that. But again, it's one of my favourite ones. I think it was fantastic. Tally, Ollie, I said hi. So Cats for Fun says hi to Ollie. So yeah, Devilman Crybaby. I've never, you know what? I've actually not seen Devilman. It's one of the recommended ones on my Netflix at the moment. So yeah, Steven Universe is one I really hated when it started, and I thought, what the hell is this? Why is it pandering to people? Meh meh meh. But then I think about 8 months after it came out, I gave no, not 8 months, about a year and a half after it came out, I gave it some of my proper time to watch it. I'm caught up as far as I'm aware at the moment because the last episode I watched was when Lars was piloting. I don't want to give any spoilers for people, but when Steven is on the planet. So yeah, that's that. What are the relationships like with the alters? I get along really, really well with everyone. So I don't know how to elaborate on that more, really. But sort of my lovey relationship extends to all of them in different ways because you've got different types of love. But yeah, so that's where that goes with that. How do I handle the so I second Jacob's question. How do I handle the stress? Random and Jacob. Okay, so I'm glad you actually mentioned that again because I missed that one. To be fair, it's not more on my end. I would personally say when people say to me like, "How do you cope?" It's not a thing that I've got to try and cope. I've literally got used to being around them with this condition, so it's not a case of me coping or getting stressed. Now and again, I might do, but I've got better recently at handling that level of stress, if that can be considered. So I'm glad that you and Jacob asked that question. But I don't know. I wouldn't really say it's stressful on my part, if I'm completely honest. It's quite exciting. I'm sorry, my eyes are doing a stupid thing. It's exciting for me because each day it changes who I'm going to come home to see. It differs for who I'm going to be out with doing different things. So yeah, that in itself, I quite like that you don't know what's going to go on every day. It's sort of like a new thing, if that makes sense. But I don't get stressed, but I worry about Jess and the boys because they've got to deal with a lot of it. They've got to deal with stresses of who's in out in work, if there's rapid switching, stress, headaches and stuff induced by that, dealing with social anxiety and certain things as well. So it's more them that have got to deal with a lot of stress. But as an individual, I think the best thing you can do is learn and adapt. It's like with anything. Like I said earlier on, it's if you've got a friend that's disabled in any way, either mentally or physically or anything like that, you don't constantly ask them about it. You learn, but you don't ask silly things. But you learn. You do your own research on the internet if it's available. But you just constantly talk to them and adapt. And eventually, over length of time, you get so used to it, nothing feels different. It's second nature. And let's have a quick look. Proudest moment with the boys. Oh my god. I don't know, really. Just being themselves and being confident with being themselves. Excuse me. I think a big one for that is their social media and stuff. It's like if I see them post on Tumblr or anything else, I'm really, really happy. Or when I know that they are out enjoying themselves on Instagram and stuff like that. And I don't know. I'm just proud of them all the time for being them and just being unique individuals. I think that's a huge one. So Random also said, we just got married and I want to thank you for doing the live stream literally a couple of days later. Hey dude, no, so it's a pleasure. So Random, I'm going to try and keep an eye out for your comment in a second. Is it who's the system? Are you both a system, or is it yourself or your partners? Or I just thought I'd ask the question. But yeah, congratulations on getting married. It's really nice. It's something that I'm very, very proud of it. But yeah, things will get. It doesn't change. I literally, whenever it says, "Oh, getting married changes your life," yeah, it does, but it doesn't really change anything. It gets easier. Things do get simpler. I just want. Hi there, guys. Adrian asked me if you have any disorders. Yeah, I suppose I do. In a way, I suspected recently I might actually suffer with adult ADHD. because I'm a very not impulsive, but a lot of the mannerisms and learning about that assimilate really, really well with me. I've got my own demons, as it is, but a big one for me is sort of my anxiety and depression, actually, which I've only just sought help for again today. I've been drug free from it for 5 years, but I felt as if recently I needed to get help again. So I've actively sought. It's really bad England on my part. I've sought basically help on my end, so I'm doing that. So yeah, no, but I do, yeah. So thank you for asking that. Actually, I'm trying to keep an eye out for. I'm sorry, I'm trying to see if I can find his comment or her comment. See if they wrote back. Sorry, I'm trying to see if Random wrote back, but I don't think they did yet. That's fine. Cool. Right. Okay. Do you ever wish you and the boys could all hang out together? From Isabrook. Yes. Oh, right. Honestly, right. If there was a way that something like that could happen, I would love it. Even if it was a massive example. So with the advancements we've made in technology over the years, I mean, prime example of a book, movie, or show like Sword Art Online and stuff like that with virtual reality, but because you're actually tapping into the nervous system of the people. If that was a thing that can actually happen, when you could tap into someone's brain and live an experience through that, or have something come real, that's the one thing I wish would happen. I actually wish the boys were real. I'm not even sort of exaggerating that just for the chat or trying to be like, yeah, I kind of wish they were, but wouldn't. I'm not bullshitting. I genuinely wish they could. Literally, those guys are my best friends, and I really, really wish they could be around. I'm sort of welling up thinking about it, to be honest. But to me, they are real, but I wish I could physically hang out with all of them. I really, really do. I think I'm not the only person that's going to be on that, you know? Sorry, again, I'm going through some of the comments just to have a brief look. Vincent, hey guys, do you have any tips for partners trying to understand and communicate with their partner's alters? Vincent, yeah, listen. I think that's a huge one as well. You're all your own unique people at the end of the day, so you have your different quirks and how you're going to cope with things of a different nature. Personally, I would learn to find their likes and dislikes, and then play off that. Not on the dislike parts, but learn the dislikes, don't do them. For the likes portion of things, I would say, if they enjoy going to coffee shops and talking like that, take them to a coffee shop, talk to them and learn things. If they like doing certain things like going out for days out, go to a beach, go take a hike, go do something that they like doing and you like doing, so you learn both each other's interests and dislikes, so you can sort of, like I said, you can play off those and do really, really well. But just listen to people. Anyone, if there are any alters you want to learn to get along with, even if they don't like you initially, which does happen, just go along with it. Try to be the person that they want to like. So yeah, it'll be easy. So Megan Smithers, are you afraid of them integrating? Yes, I did touch on that earlier on. Yeah, I am. Actually, integration is something that does quite frighten me. I was talking about it earlier on because I think integration can be really, really good for some systems, so long as they are willing to get the help initially, and if they want to do it. So again, it's something you can't force it to happen. So it will. Things do get easier and better. Adrian, it's nice to actually see someone else admit it, and I think that's a big thing. So Andy ADHD, bloody hell, dude, you've got the trifecta there, man. These are the things. That's the things. I don't know if I've got the whole ADHD thing yet. I want to get that looked at, but that's going to happen in time. I'm dealing with one thing at a time just to try and help cope. But no, I'm proud of you for admitting it, man. I'd say just like sort of keep it up and just sort of take it step by step and just get better with it. You'll be absolutely fine. Again, I'm just having a look at this. Is dissociating without switching a thing that anyone in the systems can experience? Yeah. Oh no. 100%. Everyone. I'm not kidding. Every single person on the planet will dissociate at some point in their lives. Prime example. Have you ever found yourself either driving or being a passenger in a car, and you're not falling asleep, but literally just paying attention out the window, or you're on your phone, or even if you're driving, you're literally just doing it, and all of a sudden you just sort of clock to, and you're not losing your ability to pay attention while driving. You're doing that, but you'll do your journey, and you go, holy crap, I've covered 30 miles. Where the hell has that gone? Prime example. That's probably one of the biggest thing I can say. Like every single person will dissociate. Every single person, even if you don't realize it. Now that you're in tune with it and you drive, or you're a passenger in a car, you'll notice it a little bit more. What's my favourite breakfast food? Bittersweet darkness one. That changes. I go through different iterations of it. Recently, Jamie and Jess and Ed have basically been making me this baked oats. It's a Gordon Ramsay recipe, and it's like oats, coconut powder, milk, condensed cream, and stuff like that. But you bake it and then keep it in the fridge overnight and microwave it during the day. But that's one of my things. I'm back on a health kick again, where I'm going to the gym again after spending 7-8 months out of it. Yeah. So I'll start eating a lot more for that. So more boiled eggs, more oats in the morning and stuff like that. I personally, I'm partial to a bowl of oats with mixed seeds and honey and blueberries. That's the normal my go-to. Do I get weeping knowing Ollie has grown up? Yeah, considering the kid that he was when I met him. So there's actually I'm trying to remember the name of the BBC documentary. I think it was Diaries of a Broken Mind. Was the documentary, and Ollie actually is really young in that. This was when Jess was at uni. So if you actually find Diaries of a Broken Mind online, I'm pretty certain there's bits of it or the whole thing on YouTube. You can watch it, and that's a huge one because you can actually see how young Ollie is there versus how he is now. Yeah, that's a huge difference. I've had that. It's so good. Yeah, but yeah. To be fair, it's one of my favorite breakfasts. Is that why I don't recognize myself when looking in the mirror when I panic? I'm not sure, Mallory, if I'm honest. I don't think that's dissociating, but that might sometimes. I've done it myself actually in a state of like panic or anything else. I've looked in a mirror, like when you're not feeling yourself, you look in a mirror, but then you start hyper-analyzing yourself, and then you go, I don't recognize this person. Who is this? Even if you don't suffer from the condition, you can still have that. But you get different things. You can have some like depersonalization, derealization things. I've noticed it mainly in people that actually do suffer with the condition. Jewish Girl Rocks. I can't believe I caught you live from Israel. Hey, thank you very much. That's to be fair, it's actually crazy to know. So Kathy just said it could be depersonalization. It really can. I've experienced it. You don't have to have DID to experience that. Read up more about it online. It's really good, actually. It's nice to understand different conditions because you learn and go, okay, no, I don't suffer from that, but I get bits of this. I watched the documentary. It was good. Yeah, it was really, really nice, actually. It was really interesting being in it and then watching it afterwards. It was really nice. The response from that documentary was phenomenal as well. Whereas, it's weird, because I was on Twitter when that came out, when it went live, and the response was amazing. Yet, when we did the one on this morning, the interview there, the psychologist they had in there wasn't particularly great, but the response from that wasn't overwhelmingly good. But you're going to get trolls online. You're going to get people like that. Yeah, I was going to say, sorry, I'm actually sort of glad everyone's sort of gone on that and said where they're from. So we've got people from Chile, Denmark, Canada. Have I ever come to Brazil, Rumi? No, Brazil is one place I really do want to experience because it's a fantastically beautiful part of the world. I am well travelled, but not really. Adam's just finished a uni exam. Well done for catching the stream, dude. I was late. For anyone that's only just come in, I was really, really late getting into this. I completely forgot. I was too engrossed in watching anime with Ollie. I forgot to put the volume on my phone to tell me about the notification for the event. So I missed it. It was about 52 minutes late when it started, so it's why it's going on now. God damn, there's a hell of a lot of people on here. Wales represent. Boy! Mexico, Ontario. Have I ever come to the USA? Elizabeth, I did. I got married in the United States. And I say the United States rather than America because I got married in Hawaii. But I visited Los Angeles for 3 days, Hawaii for a week, and then New York for 3 days. I fell in love with America when I was there. I fell in love with Hawaii, but more specifically, I fell in love with LA. If I ever found myself to come into a lot of money, I think me and Jess would actually move out to LA. I'm not joking. If somehow I won the lottery, I'd be gone. I'd be moving out to Los Angeles within a heartbeat. But there's a lot of America I really want to experience. So yeah, it's really cool actually. Katie Morton is a YouTuber. She's made videos about depersonalization. There we go. If the content's good, Azalea, I'd probably say for everyone to go look at it. It's great to get a YouTuber's perspective on certain conditions as well because they can try and explain things and it seems a bit more personal to you because you feel as if they're talking to you. So yeah, it's definitely worth doing. So, hi guys, I don't know if you can answer this, but how are fragments different to full alters? It's the one part that confuses me. Sorry for repeating this question. I'm from Finland, by the way. No, LED, I'm glad you did repeat the question. There's a lot, because the chat's going quite quickly. There's, like I said, it's sort of like just picking random questions or scrolling up and Pardon me trying to find it. My name is pronounced Hiumi. Oh, right. Okay, all right, so apologies about Hiumi. So I'm glad. I've learnt now, so I will pronounce it better. So fragments do differ a lot, but they don't at the same time. There's Jess has had fragments. They don't come out very often. I would say with the same with most fragments from systems potentially. I've met very few of them. You don't really do it. They're called fragments because that's what they basically are. It's like it's probably the best example of that. It's like a very two-dimensional. Fragments are very two-dimensional. That's literally it. Whereas the altars themselves and the full altars are 3D, so you get the full experience with it. If that makes sense, it's the only analogy I can come up with. But that's it. They're very on-off, whereas the full altars are full-on individuals. Oh mate, honestly, there's so many people on here from all over the world. It's absolutely amazing. I'm chuffed that you're lot are here doing this. I gotta be honest, I gotta thank you as well for actually doing this and being with me during this. I wasn't feeling very comfortable doing this today. I was a bit sort of like I might not do it. But yeah, I'm sort of glad I did. I've actually got to thank Becca, to be honest, because they sent me a message saying, "Are you aware the live stream is meant to go on?" I was like, "Oh crap!" So thank you to them. So do Jess and the boys cosplay? They don't. No, I wish they would. I know for a fact Jake would if he had the opportunity to. Jake, if Jake had his own body, I know for a fact he would do it 100%. And I think if he had the opportunity to do it more out here, he would. Because that's him as an individual. I know for a fact he would do it. Also watching from the Shetland Islands for Rara. One of my favourite people because my dog is from the Shetland Islands. I have a Sheltie, just in case anyone didn't know that. So I just wanted to put that out there. It just wasn't a random comment. How do alters get their names from Hansel? Again, that's a bloody good question, actually. Some of them just know what they're called, or you do have some alters which don't have a name. So they may be given one by the host, they may be given one by other members of the system, or they may be given one by a friend, and they go, you know what, that name works, that's really nice. Or it could take some time, and they might just have a blank name, and then years later or something like that, they could just go, oh my god, I know my name. Like, it just resonates with them. That's what I'd probably say to do it as well. So that's probably the best thing. Let's have a look. Like, just in case, I just wanted to touch on this as well. Just in case I've missed any questions which I have already answered, if I don't see them on the stream, if anyone wants to see a question that hasn't been asked, highlight it, post it back a couple of times if you really want to see me try and answer something in particular. Or if I have already answered one and you want, and it keeps getting questioned again, you can just message that person and just let them know. Right. Let's have a look. Elizabeth Protheo. No, I didn't actually have to. That sort of was like something the body did anyway. So they all just sort of knew. Ollie was probably the least adapted to that, but he did. It was all just natural to the body. Whereas other systems, I know that will differ. So yeah. Multiple strong minds. Yeah, most of our system have their names, but Kiri chose hers after a video game character. Yeah, so what multiple strong minds just touched on then, the name thing, it comes to different people in different ways. You'll either know, or it comes to you later on. Or there's potentially still alters out there in systems which are years old, which might not even have a name. So yeah. Let's have a look. Kim Rodway, I second Elizabeth's question, and I'll add. I'm trying to see where Elizabeth's one was, actually. Bugger. Kim, I might have missed Elizabeth's question, sorry. Are any of the boys dysphoric? Specifically with menstruation. I wouldn't say dysphoric with it. I'd probably say the person who really, really doesn't like it, who likes it the least, is probably going to be Jake, if I'm completely honest with you. I think Jake's probably the one that gets the most body dysmorphia. Dysmorphia. I can't specifically remember which word it's going to be. Dysmorphia. I don't know. Yeah, dysphoria. Yeah, body dysphoria. So that's going to be the major one. He's the one who suffers from it for the most. He's the one which wishes most of all that he had his own body, and I don't blame him in that respect. So yeah. So, do each of the altars have their own set of possessions? Oh yeah, definitely, Missy Moo. Yeah, 100%. It's again their own individual people. It's like they've each got their own. Everything gets shared. Everything's like a cumulative group effort thing. But yeah, definitely everyone has their own unique items. It's like, but we share. It's like the PC I'm using now and all the setup with it. It's mine. It's my gaming PC. But obviously, I'll let the boys use it. Same as Ed's got his own makeup that he specifically bought for himself, or to put on Jess. But he doesn't like it when anyone else uses it because they either go too hard or they don't use it correctly in the right way. So yeah, but everyone's got their own possessions. Jake has, Ollie has. But again, like I said, they get shared. So I suppose that's a big thing. Pardon me. Humi, what am I drinking? I'm drinking a fruity cider. I wanted to drink, but I've been drinking a lot of water this afternoon, and I thought to try and do this, I thought I'd try and make myself a bit more comfortable. But I realised since I've opened it, I've just talked and I've barely drank it, so I'm just sort of taking the odd sip now and again. I ask again, since you seem to answer the questions under above mine. Oh, Samus, I'm so sorry. How did you react the first time Jess switched in front of you? Oh, geez. I can't remember when it was. I think it was in Jess's old bedroom when she was trying to explain how to try and see the altars and other things. It was like a weird moment. But, first time she probably switched in front of me. I can't really remember it all that well, if I'm completely honest. But again, it's just one of those things that I've gotten used to now. It's sort of like, if it was like not like a purpose-based switch, if it's like just one that just happens, yeah, fair enough. The first time I think I probably did panic a little bit because I was like, are you waving for it to face? Are you okay? And then she snapped too, and then it was just like, oh, hey guys. It's like, oh, hi Jake. That's what happened. So yeah, Mr. Cosbear, can I recommend a therapist? Depends what country you're in or anything else. If you're in the United Kingdom and you want a diagnosis, Remy at the Pottergate Centre is the guy I would personally recommend. But that's, again, you've got to do your own research. That's probably what I best say for that. Remy at the Pottergate Centre in Norwich. He's probably the only person in the UK I would trust in regards to that. He's the leading specialist within dissociative identity disorder. Dissociative, not dissociative. Dissociative. I add extra S's into the word and I don't know why. Am I ever in disagreement with an alter and Jess takes sides? No, not particularly, no. There's very little, if anything, I disagree with. If they want to do anything, they can go ahead and do whatever the hell they want with their own people. I'm not going to stop anyone. If Ed or any of the boys want to go for a day trip out in London or anything and I'm working, by all means do it. I don't disagree with any actions that anyone does. How can someone with alters who are based on fictional characters tell people they aren't pretending? Wait. How can someone with alters who are based on fictional characters tell people they aren't pretending? Oh, right, okay, I get it. Right, okay, I wasn't too sure it was a statement or a question. Right, so the whole point of the condition is it's a protective thing for that person. Is to deal with a form of trauma. It's to deal with that. So your mind protecting yourself. So with that, I would basically say that it's a protective method. Not all alters in every case are going to be, in some respect, human. As a prime example, it's your brain's coping mechanism to protect your body. So that's the whole point. It's not the people can be based off characters from TV shows, from anime and stuff like that, or cartoons or anything like that, or even it could be based off Friends, if that makes sense. It's going to be a really, really weird one for people to listen to on that. But I think the point with that is it's based on people you find strong, and if your mind resonates with a certain character from a certain TV show, that is where your mind's going to go. It's going to go, that works, that protects, that does it, blah 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 blah. So that's what help.
Technically, guys, you've had an hour now.
Yeah, that's true.
But
I'll keep it going.
It's up to you.
I'll keep it going. Any book recommendations? Right. Yes. Right now, if anyone has already seen Ready Player One, the movie, please go out and read the book. Honestly, it's not for everyone. Please don't read the stupid reviews online as why Ready Player One was a really crap book and the movie was amazing. Read the book. Personally, Ready Player One is my favourite book I've ever read. It doesn't really probably say a lot for the books I've read, but Ready Player One is one of my favourite books I have ever read. The fantasy world and the writing, honestly, I think is fantastic, and it is much better than the movie. But if you've watched the book, you might be a bit disappointed by the movie. You'll love the visual effects and you will like the storyline, but it's not the same. Whereas if you've watched the movie, you'll love the book even more. Guaranteed, 100%. I didn't like the movie. Gotta read the book. Yeah, that's the thing. Personally, I'd say the book is better than the movie, and I was engrossed. I cried during reading the book. Not kidding. So many things in the movie didn't work, but I cried reading the book. I'm not kidding, and you could all like probably guess like which points I cried at. So yeah, yeah. Hmm?
Do 2 hours.
Do 2 hours. All right, okay. Well, all right. Yeah, I will. Yeah. So, the Oasis. The Oasis is a will I wish would happen, and personally, I think it will. There will come a time where we will no longer use Windows or Mac and Linux and things like that. The whole system, it will go to a proprietary system where we use one operating system that will have everything engulfed within it. It will eventually come, and it will happen. When? God knows. Have you guys ever considered having kids? From Keith. Yeah, no, definitely. We want kids. We do want children. It's just one of the. It'll happen when it happens. I want kids. Personally, I want a little girl. Jess has always said she'd like a little boy, but as long as it comes out healthy when it does, that's all I really care about. Honestly, that's all I care. As long as it's got 10 fingers, 10 toes. It doesn't even have to have 10 fingers, 10 toes. As long as it's healthy. An alter system operating system. I gotta be honest, Ray. I don't know if I trust it. No, I would. I'm joking. I've not seen it, but I'm going to see it tonight. You'll really enjoy it, honestly. If you've not actually seen the... thank you, Christine, by the way. I just read your message. If you've not seen it yet, I would recommend doing it. How did your family react to Jess having DID? From Tyler. My family actually reacted really well. My family sort of grew up with different health conditions and stuff anyway. Thanks. So I'm prime example. My late sister grew up with stuff like eating disorder, bipolar, and other things like that. So we sort of got used to it. So yeah, Kat, goodbye. I have lots of psychology homework to do. Kat, best of luck. I really, really hope it all goes well. You'll have a really, really nice night. You'll have a nice evening or day, whatever time zone you're in. So you'll be fine, honestly. Do you ever fear that Jess could disappear one day, and did you discuss it? So I discussed that earlier on in the chat as well, Sam. It is something that scares living daylights out of me. It always is. Same as with any of the boys integrating with anyone else. It frightens me to death. I don't think it'll ever happen though, because Jess is so forefront and so there in herself. She's not going anywhere soon. Whereas I know it has happened to other systems, but they've grown up and progressively the original, the body owner or the host has gradually disappeared and everyone's taken else on board. I've seen it happen. Miskick. Health has nothing to do with love. No, you're right. So where's the comment from that? What was that based on? I'm not healthy. Am I less loved? Creative? No, not at all. No. Like Miskick just said then, health doesn't equal love. You are not less loved because you're not healthy, and that doesn't matter whether you're physically unhealthy or mentally unhealthy. The best thing you can do is to try and love yourself. And if you're in a position where you can't love yourself, you will be able to seek help. I think that's the biggest thing. If you're unhealthy in a physical or mental way, seek the help that you think you need, and with that you can learn to love yourself. And people will love you, and I guarantee you people do love you. That's a big thing. Just, I used to sort of think the same way as because I've got depression, anxiety, no one likes me. And it's taken me a long time to sort of get over that. And I realised that because I shut myself off from a lot of people. So I've realised sort of I've got to get over that. But it's not something easy to do. You will get over this, and you will get through it, and you will get healthy again. So just focus on yourself. Look after number one. I think that's a huge thing to try and do. What was it like when I first met Eli? Well, I actually found out about Eli just I think through Jess and all. They were like, I think something's happened. I was like, what do you mean? Or it was that, or I found out through Tumblr, and I asked Jess, and she was like, did I not mention it? I was like, no. It's one of those things of having a condition with a memory disorder. You don't know if you mention everything. So yeah, it was interesting though, because it was different. Well, I have a disorder that is visible, and I can't find love from Riolu. You will. That's the thing. It doesn't matter what your condition is. You will eventually find love. But I think the big thing is just learn to love yourself. Even if you're in a position where you don't currently, you will eventually. I'm not joking. That's the best thing I can say. Is there anything we can do to help our partner who is struggling to accept that we have DID? I know I did see another question like that further up, and I'm really, really sorry I missed it earlier on, so I really apologise about that. Is there anything we can do to make to help our partner who is struggling to accept we have DID. I think the biggest thing with them struggling to accept you have DID is are they in the mindset of, oh, it's not real, it's all an act, or are they just struggling to accept it? I think there's enough reading material online now, and enough sources, enough good, trustworthy sources on YouTube and written documents that just shows where it's going from. So I just read Keith as a great Christian from there. They will eventually come round to you having it and being from there. So I it's just keep on at them. Just keep on with it. Keith had a great question. I'm going to try and see if I can flow through and see if I can find Keith's question a second. It's quite difficult with this keyboard and mouse on this. Keith, can you dissociate without having DID? Yes, I did touch upon that earlier. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can. Yeah, dissociating without DID happens all the time. I said it earlier on. Everyone in the world will suffer from dissociation. The example I gave that I have personally suffered from, because I drive for my career, and I've driven for years. If you're driving down a motorway or a section of road, and you just sort of progressively just go along, and all of a sudden you find, oh crap, I've done 30 miles in my car and I haven't realised, and you haven't crashed. That's dissociating. Your body just goes on sort of an autopilot with things. But yeah, you'll dissociate. Everyone will. What is your best memory of each of the boys? Jesus Christ, honestly, I've had too many. I've had too many good days out. I've had too many good nights in. I've had a lot of emotional times with them for us helping each other. The wedding was obviously a huge one. Yeah, I've had a lot of them, honestly. Yeah, it's difficult. Do the boys have their own journals or diaries? Not physically, not written down. But Tumblrs, yeah, they've got like their own social medias and stuff like that they tend to use for different things. Who is Eli? Eli is I don't think. So Eli's a fragment of Ed. So basically, it's right. So fragments are generally like parts of alters, but like when I mentioned earlier on, basically fragments are like 2D, whereas the actual alters themselves are 3D. If that makes sense, it's probably the best way I can describe it. Eli is actually he's a fragment or a partition of Ed. But he's the opposite. He didn't suffer with the stuff that Ed used to go through or anything else. He's I don't want to use the wrong term of phrase or anything else like that, but Eli is basically the opposite to Ed. He still looks a lot like him, but he's the opposite. He grew up rich. He grew up as a really bubbly person. So yeah, it's just one of those things. I still prefer Ed though. I just gotta put that out there. Do you know WAR 5? Do you know what their inner world is like? Sorry, Laura, I read the original comment. I didn't realise WAR 5. I was like, what's WAR 5? Do I know what the inner world is like? Yeah, so I know what the inner world is roughly like. It's very, very similar to this, but obviously a lot of things are different. A lot of politics stuff is different, but a lot of it translates. A lot of like real world stuff goes over there. So yeah, it's very much like ours, really. How often is each of the boys out? Is Jess the most often? Jess is the most often, Amber. But that it does differ, yeah. So yeah, it does differ. She sometimes she'll be out most, but then I can have Jake or Jamie out most as well, same as Ollie and Ed. Oh, sorry, Vincent. I do apologise. I didn't mean to miss your question so much. So sorry for keeping repeating the question. But do you have any tips for alters afraid to talk to their host's partner? If you're actually afraid to try and speak to the host partner, like to instigate a conversation out of fear of, oh my god, what if they hate me or anything else? One thing you can do is if your host partner knows about the condition and you actually want to talk to them, a big thing that you could do is send them a written message, either on a messenger app, WhatsApp, or a handwritten message, just to say initially what you want. Or to ask them, would you be happy talking to me? Can I speak to you? Can I engage with you? That would be a big one. So I think that would work really, really well. So hopefully that's a level of input that can help with that. Were any of the boys co-conscious during the wedding? I'm pretty sure every single person was. Yeah, it was a lot for Jess to try and deal with on that day, to be honest. But it was a day for her. But yeah, everyone was there. It was quite. It was quite amusing, to be honest. What are the boys' input in your guys' wedding? Oh god, they did loads. Ed's the very stylistic person, so Ed did a hell of a lot of like flower planning, clothing, colours and stuff like that. Jake was they all had their own input from their own personality types. So it all just blended really well. I can't say what one specific person did with another. It all just blended really, really well and beautifully. Sorry, I'm just sort of trying. I'm terrified to be officially diagnosed. Do I suggest I get diagnosed? How do I calm myself enough to go? Elizabeth, and Miss Chick and some of the other people that may suffer from the condition as well and want to get diagnosed. I think a big thing is not being afraid about it. I understand anxiety plays a huge part. If you want to go to a doctor first to try and adjust the anxiety side of things to try and help with that, I'd probably say go to your doctor, seek anxiety medication if that's what you want to do, or seek kind of some kind of therapy or anything initially to try and help calm yourself down, or learn different breathing exercises and certain things that might be able to put you in a position where you feel comfortable doing it. When you feel comfortable and you want to get diagnosed, I would personally do it. You don't have to. If you want to, go ahead and do it. But don't force yourself to do it if you don't want to, if you get what I mean. Don't do it because someone else is telling you to. Do it for yourself. I think that's the big thing what you've got to do. Thank you, Days. That's really nice of you to say, actually. Do Ed and Jess get along together better now? Yes, as the years have gone on, they both get along much better, which is really, it works beautifully now. It's wonderful. When and why are new alters born? Sorry to insist, I need to go to sleep. Sorry, Simona, I didn't see the question. I really do apologise. Again, that differs. If the body or mind goes through a massive period of stress, if you have the condition, that can actually cause it. If you go through a new trauma or anything else, that will also cause it because it originates from trauma. So I apologise, Simona. That I didn't mean to miss your question so much. But yeah, that's a big one. If the body or mind suffers from a huge period of stress or anything else, like an example, for example, if you're in university and everything's getting on top of you and the pressure piles on and you have a bit of not a mental break, but sort of things get way too overwhelming, that can be a bit of a trigger for something to occur and for a new one to happen. I'm not joking. It can be like that. So yeah, I do hope that helps in some way. Die Rosen Prison Session. I know for a fact I said your name completely wrong then. Do your pets react differently to Jess and her alters? Hey from Germany. I had a feeling you're from Germany based on the name. Yes, they all do act differently. Fable and Iris will react differently to people in the house. Yeah, no joke. Guinea pigs get more excited with Jake and Ollie around. No kidding. I shit you not. I'm not even joking. They really, really do. Can Jake do a British accent? Yes. Funny fact for you all. Jake is actually British. Yep. Yeah, he's got a very thick American Los Angeles accent, and he's British. Jamie is actually American. Just putting that out there. Jamie was born in America. Jake, and then raised in England. Jake was born in England, but because Jake was mute up until... I can't remember what age. Really can't remember what age. I think it's 7, 8, 6. Ollie's just told me 6. There we go. So I learned something new. He was mute until the age of 6. But then, because he had such an early talent career as well, the accent sort of brought from there. Plus, his dad spoke slightly Americanish. So yeah. So because this is by the way, this is all in a world. This isn't out here. This is all in a world. I'm just sort of explaining that. So yeah. Thanks for answering the previous questions. What was a moment or more in which you were really proud of Jess in terms of DID? I think the big thing for Jess, me being proud of her, was there was a few different ones. Her finding what the condition was called, and so she knew she wasn't alone. Starting to try and educate people on it years ago, before she got a bit overwhelmed with trolls and everything else, so deleted the account, which is a shame. But then actually getting diagnosed and dealing with the condition and living for it, I think that was a big thing. I'm really, really proud of her. Pardon me. What was it like when you met each of the boys? Wonderful, to be honest, Molly. Really, really nice. I loved meeting every single one of them. It was progressive. It didn't happen overnight or within a few days. It took months, if not about a year or so, for me to actually meet all of them. So yeah, it was nice though. Tips for the undiagnosed. Proceed as if you were diagnosed, if that makes sense. It might not be that... I know there's a lot of people who think they may have DID, and some people who don't think they have it but have or haven't, vice versa and stuff. But personally, I would sort of, if you believe you have it, and if you follow from a lot of the same symptoms and you want to be diagnosed, I understand there is a cost involved. If you do have private healthcare, most of the time, a lot of the time, they will actually cover you to get diagnosed. I know that, again, Remy at the Pottergate Centre in Norwich is the guy that Jess used, and he's the one that a lot of DID systems I'm aware of that I've used, but he's done very, very well. So yeah. How do you know if you have DID? God, it's a bit of a deep question, to be honest, Rush. It's difficult to know. If you suffer from a lot of the symptoms, if you look online, you can find them. If you do suffer from a lot of them, you might be able to find out if you do. But don't just make the assumption that just because a lot of things fall into place, it might not be DID. There are other conditions which it potentially could be. But don't distract that from yourself either. At the same time, just go, oh well, I don't know what it is. I'll just deal with it and just deal with that. Just try and just get some self-help. Just look after yourself, I think, is the biggest thing for that. Have I ever met Jake's sister? No. Jenny was actually a part of the system well before I met them. But I never had. I think I may have met like her, but as a fragment, if that makes sense. But that was on the tail end of when she was gone, and so yeah, I've never properly actually met her. No, I didn't get the opportunity to, sadly. Jenny, how can I introduce my alters to my boyfriend? He knows about everything and he wants to know them, but he and them are pretty shy in front of each other. Right, okay. That one is probably a bit of a difficult one. Just be confident. Try and get into a situation where you're, depending on the alter that might be out. If you've got one that's co-conscious or they're so I got a bit dry skin. If you've got one that's co-conscious or anything else, if you've got one that's co-conscious or anything else, find there's something that they may share common ground with. As I mentioned earlier, if you want to get to know alters, go to a coffee shop, go to a hotel, go to a beach, go to somewhere that's nice and calm and not too busy. If you both want to be in the middle of a city centre and do it, yeah, fair enough if you feel confident. But if you both want to be in a relaxed environment, go into it that way and then try to speak to each other. So I'm hoping that sort of may help and that may make things easier. So yeah, that's what I'd probably say to it. So with that, Jake mentioned there used to be 20 alters. Do you meet any of them? Did they disappear or did they get integrated? So yeah, there have been other alters over time, and there's a lot I haven't met and a lot that I have. I've met a few more fragments rather than alters more recently, if I'm honest. But yeah, I haven't met a lot of them. A lot of the ones that used to exist when Jess was younger were gone by the time that I came into the picture and that I met her. So yeah, it's not much more I can say to that. So sorry about that. Yeah, so Cat's Glade just said a guide also helps. Make a guide of your alters, names, pronouns, likes, dislikes, species. Yeah, so you can basically find out. So if your boyfriend or partner or significant other, whoever it is around, or even friends, reads that, then that would be a really, really good one, because it gives them an opportunity to read through and just go, okay, well, if I do this for this person, that would help. Jacob Brown had a good question. I'm scrolling up to try and see if I can find it. Bear with me. I don't know how far up. Aha, there we go. So how can I help my partner with her alters? Mainly telling others and hiding it. Also off topic. Right. So with that, now there's a few people in different friend groups that I have that I won't tell about the condition because of the reaction that I would probably get. Well, do you know she ain't bullshitting you? How do you know she's not lying? She might be pulling your leg. Typical lads sort of mindset, and people not willing to understand that. That one itself, I think it's, again, confidence is a big one. I understand you mentioned about in your question, Jacob, saying about can you help me with confidence. Overall, and now and again, I do actually suffer with a lapse of confidence. I know, shock, horror, me. It does happen though. Everyone does go through different things. I suffer with confidence a bit differently. Sometimes I'm a bit too frontal, a bit too in everyone's face, to deal with that, I suppose. But yeah, confidence comes in different iterations and different strengths. It's about trying to build yourself up and be confident. If you're not confident in your body or anything else, go to a gym, try to exercise physically. If you're not confident mentally, train yourself. Do things that you know make you feel unconfident in certain situations, like social speaking. I'm not a great lover of actually speaking and doing things like this and engaging with massive groups of people in one. But I calmed myself down and I sort of went into the mindset like, okay, well, I've got to do it. So yeah, it happens. It'll be okay. But just confidence in yourself, believing in yourself can lead to confidence. But don't let it into cockiness. That's a big thing. You've got to be confident in what you do. Same as a job. don't cockiness doesn't. It often gets mistaken for confidence. That's the thing. I know for a fact I'm good at my bloody job, and that's it. Whereas some of my colleagues are like, "Oh, you're a bit cocky." So well, I'm not cocky. I know I'm good at what I do, but yeah, it's maybe something to do when I'm feeling low, need a boost. The big thing I could do is do stuff that you enjoy, that you like, but don't get frustrated at yourself if you're doing that thing and it gets a bit too much and you don't manage to succeed doing it. I wouldn't worry about that. So yeah, Vixen, guys, you're awesome. Thank you. But I'm sort of hoping like it helps a little bit. Sorry again. My comment keeps disappearing. Ollie should come answer some questions. Ollie said he'll do the next one. Ollie will do the next live stream. So we're going to try and take it in turns to do these, so everyone sort of gets their own sort of a bit of a time to each other to go through. So I've just had notifications on my phone, so I'm just turning it off. Let's have a look. Sorry, again, why do alters disappear? From Martiana D. So it can be due to different things. Some alters can integrate with others. So what some alters may have, they may have certain characteristics about them which help the body and help the mind. You may end up having two alters that end up merging, and that one person gets both of those traits and stuff. So alters disappear for different reasons. Some of them because they're no longer needed, or they're just not used. But because you're processing the trauma at the end of the day, so when your brain has managed to process the trauma, that's when some of the alters disappear or integrate. You're not specifically losing that alter. You're still gaining all the qualities of that alter, but it's merging and it's getting easier to deal with. It's your brain going, I'm fixing myself. I'm able to cope. I'm able to help. So I hope that helps and answers that in some way. Thank you. I love you too. Will Ed ever do a live stream? Maybe. I think a live stream. I think Ed would love a live stream if he can drink during it. But at the same time, I think it might be a bit overwhelming. If it was, it'd be on a closed sort of network sort of thing. It'd be very enclosed and like maybe an invite only thing for Ed. I know sometimes he does go on Tiny Chat. But that's a very enclosed network of people that he can trust and he knows he can talk to. So yeah, it's one of those. Different people get different confidence rates for different things. Sophia, I like you. I wish you guys the best. Greetings from Argentina. Thank you. Hey, Argentinian folks in the room. Awesome. Yeah, definitely. There are forms of healing with the ID too. Yeah, so Katz has got a lot of information on this as well. I'm no expert on this. There's still a lot that I have to learn as a person. When I meet new systems as well, there's a lot of stuff I learn that I never knew about before. So I'm still learning to understand the condition, even though I've had pretty much 11, 12 years of experience with it now. I do still learn. And that's the thing. You can never stop learning. You can be a master of your craft and still learn new things. Yeah. Cascade. No, I'm actually not too sure if Ed's ever mentioned about you. I'm not too sure actually. My intro keeps getting buried, but I'm the guy who does the charming little DID comics. I'm dating my protector, Casper. I'm not sure. Oh no, I don't know, mate. I'm not sure. Tell you what, Kat. If I don't know if you know my Tumblr or know their Tumblr or anything else. Drop a message with what it is, because I'd like to see them. I'm not. I think they sound familiar, but again, I've really crap memory. And that's not to try and be an insult or anything. It's not like you weren't memorable. I really have a bad memory with remembering certain things. So I just want to point that out. Yeah, just point that there. So sorry about that. That didn't. Oh, Tumblr was Catsglade. Oh, okay, right. Give me a second then. I'll. Yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to find your Tumblr a quick second, and then I'm going to just follow you later on. All right, I'm just going to say that. So sorry, folks. I'm just taking a second out here, just to do this. I know it's very selfish of me to do my own thing during. No, I don't know. I might do. Anyway, so yeah, well, yeah. I just literally just trying to find it now. My Tumblr's not working, so yeah. So sorry. Do you live stream, you goof? I like doing different things at once. Right. Yes. So yeah, the comics are great. I will look at them, Kat. I 100% promise you I will. What is my opinion on tattoos? Right. So my opinion. I love tattoos. I've only got one though. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this out properly. So it's on my calf. I'm going to move the camera a second. So my tattoo is that. It's a watercolor tattoo of a triquetra. Let me get the torch on my phone so you can actually see the color a second, because this is bloody awful on my part. Oh, that's a bit bright. So it looks a bit washed out because the light's really, really bad, but in person it looks really good. Of course, everyone with a tattoo is going to say that. But yeah, that's my only tattoo. I had that done at a tattoo convention in Cardiff last year. I found a tattoo artist that I fell in love with. Her name is Josie Sexton. She's on Instagram as Josie Sexton, and she specialises in watercolour tattoos. Personally, I would probably say she's got to be one of the best watercolour tattooists on the planet. I'm not even joking. I was messaging her for months, and so this tattoo is in memory of my late sister. So there's a lot of different areas of the tattoo which mean different things to me about her. So yeah, that's me. I'd love more, and I will get more eventually. Jess is not the biggest fan of tattoos because it is a trigger of hers. So I tend not to wear like shorts around the house as much as possible, just to try and avoid that. Yeah, so I just thought I'd let you know. What altar is Jess currently? The altar that is currently out is Ollie. So I would say that the alters aren't that person. They are their own individual people. So yeah, Ollie's his own unique person, but Ollie's out at the moment. And he's currently being a fool in the most adorable way. Right, do you refer to the physical body as Jess? Actually, if I'm talking to people that don't know the condition, yes. I do. So I'm just like, Jess is out, even if it's Jake, because it's a bit of a comfortability thing to make people not uncomfortable. But if the boys are out and I'm in front of friends that know about the condition, I'm like, oh yeah, Jake's out. Stuff like that. Jess doesn't become the altar fronts. Yeah, Kat's going. I'm just going to let Kat answer most of the questions for some of the people in the chat rather than me fumble around it. Do the altars like my tattoo? Everyone except for Jess, pretty much. It's just one of those things. It's a trigger for Jess, so I can understand why she doesn't like it. How old is Ollie? Oh, please don't do this to me. 15.
Yes.
I got it right. I keep forgetting Ollie's age. I always give him like a year up or down. So yeah. And she all like, no cats. No, I'm not cutting cats. It's actually helping because there's some comments that I might not see that you can get to, so it's easy now. How old are the boys now? All right, okay. So Ollie's 15. Jamie is 28. Same age as me. Jake is 26. Ed is 30. So just putting that out there. You didn't need you to tell me. I know the age. I know everyone's ages. Stop testing me.
Well done, you passed.
Well done, I passed. Thank you. Is there a spectrum referring to severity of? Miriam. As Kat just said, there's no spectrum for it. Like DID is DID. There's no like worst or best case scenarios. It's the same condition. It does affect people differently, with some extent depending on what the trauma was or everything else. But it's the audio is a bit quiet. Sorry. Let me just like increase that again. 'Cause I have moved away from the mic a little bit. I'm trying to do a Tazon day, so I try to move away from the mic to breathe in. Old memes, hey! Those altars that went away, for a lack of a better word, sorry, are still in the inner world. Some of them might not have been a part of the inner world to begin with. This is the thing. So not every person who suffers from DID has an inner world. It differs. So that one itself does mix. That mixes. Can Ollie come say hello? He did a little bit earlier, but he is currently busy doing other things. He's like adminning and everything else, keeping an eye on the pets and stuff like that. Let me have a look at some of the other comments. Do you guys celebrate each of the altars' birthdays? Yes, we do. Yeah, I celebrate each of the altars' birthdays. Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's a thing to also make them feel more themselves. I think that's only fair. They are their own unique people. I think it's only probably fair to celebrate birthdays. I know it does get difficult with people who have systems which have multiple numbers of people. I have met systems who have an excess of well over 100 altars really, really easily. That's obviously going to be difficult to celebrate certain birthdays, so you're going to pick and choose. So yeah. Do any of the boys get dysphoric about the physical body? Yes, Emily. I did touch again on that a little bit earlier. Jake is the main one that does get dysphoric about the body. It's a big thing for him. So yeah, you're going to get that with different systems. Guys, thanks for doing this. Hey, no problem. I was a bit apprehensive about doing this earlier. One, because I forgot, and I was like, oh, well, it's too late now. No, I'm not going to do it. But I'm glad I did, because I suppose it's a good thing to also try and get my side of the story on certain things. I just apologise that the description and info for things is like all off. But yeah, I'm glad I did it. I wanted to do one for a while. It's just trying to get myself into the mindset of doing it. So yeah, I know one system was 400. Yeah. Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, we know the same person. Yeah, we do. It's Again, there are. Yeah, this is the thing. DID really differs. When we say it's not on a spectrum, like, yeah, we say some are worse than others, but just because you have 400 alters doesn't mean you're any worse off than someone who only has 6. I'm just putting that out there. It really does differ massively on how the person can deal with it and how the alters are. Do I speak any other language? Humi, sorry, I did see you ask that question earlier and I got engrossed in another one. Sadly, I don't. We have 300. It's difficult. Yeah, a failure. Yeah. One, you're not a failure of a system. Putting that out there. You are, again, 300 plus. That's a huge number. That is massive. I'm massively admirable to you as well for admitting it and speaking about it and just being around. So well done. No, I sadly do not speak any other languages. I can learn a language and I can sort of say certain phrases from it, but unless I do it a lot, it doesn't resonate and stay with me. It's one of those awkward things. Yeah, that's probably about it, really. We had 18, the number is always changing. Yeah, Lexi, it does. This is the thing. The condition does change. You will increase in numbers, you will decrease in numbers, depending on how your mind processes different information to help recover. So, yeah, because you're processing the trauma. So, it will go up and down. So, yeah, it's a bit of a mad one. Should make it into a spectrum disorder. 6 is way different than 400. Oh yeah, no, 100%. It does differ. Like 6 and 400 is you got a massive divide between the number of people you're dealing with. But there's different things. Different people's trauma is different. That creates alters in different ways. So it's one of those awkward ones. I don't want to touch on that too much, if I'm honest. I don't want to discuss any kind of trauma or anything with certain systems. I've heard some horrendous things that I never want to experience again. Hearing the way certain systems were created, it's not a great thing. Does Jess or any of the boys speak any other language? Yeah, right. So Ollie so this is all inner world, by the way, not out here. Jake, right out here, Jake can do basic sign language. So he can do BSL, English BSL. He hasn't practiced it in a while, but he can do it. Jess can do a little bit. Inner world, Ollie is learning languages in school, and Jake can speak. Right, so Jake can speak German. Jake can actually speak a little bit of Spanish as well, and Jake can also speak a little bit of Japanese. So yeah, he's one of those things. A lot of people think he's just a pretty boy and he's just a good-looking actor. He's really not. Like, he's actually an intelligent guy, and he beats himself up about it as well. Because he's not a doctor. He's not doctor smart like Jamie, but he's really goddamn intelligent. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Honestly, I'm not kidding. I don't have DID, but I suffer from depersonalization and derealization. I'm looking into OSDD 1A for my fragments. It's just a matter of how our brain deals with events. It's one of those things, like depersonalization and derealization is not something that I am very well experienced with. So it's still, again, it's something that I know Jess goes through with and some of the boys do, but it's something I'm still learning about. So it's not anything that I can answer on that. I know about it, but it's not anything that I can personally answer. Yeah, Adam, yeah, you can speak a bit of Japanese. Jake spent a little bit of time in Japan. So what Jake does, Jake likes learning local languages and stuff like that for places that he goes. He's a good lad like that. He's a good egg. He's a good little egg. Catsglade did put a question mark, but they do another question. I don't know. Sometimes people can only have 2 to 3. Yeah, it differs. Guys, I really need your help if you can. How do you explain DID if it's starting to disrupt your behaviour? Be honest. I think that's the biggest thing. Whether it's in work or I see that's a difficult one. Depending on your work environment, it will differ how you can come to terms with it. But yeah, so in regards to that, if it's disrupting like family life or friends, all I would do is just be honest with it and try. If you feel comfortable being able to speak to people, and don't just hide it. But that's only if you feel confident. Our system has shrunk over time as well, and therapy and integration go along. Days, brilliant. Again, it's nice to actually see an example of someone who has gone through integration and stuff. It's different for different people. Some people don't want to do it. You've got to be really confident in being able to do it. what is your favourite and least favourite thing about living with someone with DID? There's not many things I dislike about it. I got to be honest. Sometimes it can sometimes get hard when you don't see a particular person for a few days, or the memory issues is a big one because Jess and the boys do suffer from it's a memory disorder. So yeah, it's not that doesn't get easy in certain cases. But no, I think there's more positives to it. It's a nice it's a learning experience all the time, and plus you learn new things. Yeah, it's just nice. It's a great. I sound like when I'm trying to like sort of palm it off a little bit. I've covered it a few times, but no, it's just easy to deal with like that. So yeah, I quite like the condition because I don't know who I'm going to wake up next to each of the morning. There's nice new events and stuff, and now and again when certain information gets through from the inner world, it's always really fun. Could someone develop DID from a trauma at 12 or 13 years old? Miriam, yeah, you can actually develop DID as an adult. It's well, I say you can't develop. You like, I don't know. Again, I'm not an expert. You could discover it as an adult. I think that's probably the best thing I can describe. Again, I'm not an expert on the condition. There's lots of different reading material out there as to how you discover about getting DID or it happens. But I know I'm wrong on that. So yeah, I'm not 100%. Again, don't take my word as gospel on that. I'm just giving my personal experience on certain things. So, if this is the thing, there we go. Solar said discover. Right, yeah. So I got it right on the end of it. So yeah, sorry about that. Thank you, Solar. I didn't want to get anything wrong with that. That's the thing. Ollie also did help correct me as well because, again, this is the thing. Even if I've had 11 years worth of experience with this, I am still learning. How do I introduce them to my family? My family were pretty good with the whole thing, so I was able to just sort of talk to them in private first of all, and then gradually introduce them. It wasn't like they weren't meeting the alters all the time. There was like the alters through Jess, like co-consciousness and stuff. But yeah, so that's good. What are fragments? Pretty much, a fragment is exactly what it sounds like. It's a fragmentation of an alter. So it can either be that particular alter may have gone through a fresh incident. I'm going to say it doesn't have to be a trauma, but it can be like a fresh incident, and they can sort of fragment off of those. So it's another form of like a coping mechanism again. But the fragments are 2D versus alters which are 3D, if that makes sense. Again, I don't know a lot about them. I've only discovered alters fragments, I suppose, fairly recently in terms of this. So yeah, a less developed alter tend to have one specific role. Yeah. There we go then. So literally just nailed that. Miriam, my favourite place to eat in Cardiff. I'd probably say there's a steak restaurant called Steak of the Art, which is an art gallery and a steakhouse in one, but it's just really nice. Steak of the Art is really good. They've got them in different areas in the UK as well. It's not just in Cardiff, but that's one of my favourites. Ask the system beforehand how they want to be addressed. Yeah, that's a big thing. Don't just assume, because they may be that you could have, say, if you've got a host, like what the actual body was David, but David no longer exists, or is very, very minutely there, and the person who fronts the most is a person called Emily or anything like that. That's going to be a huge one. So it's best to learn how they want to be addressed or anything else. Let's have a quick look. Sorry, I apologise. How long can Jess stay as another alter? Dominic, I briefly touched on that very early on in the chat. Pardon me. When Jess was in university a few years ago, we were on the opposite ends of the country. And when Jess was there, I didn't see her for 3.5 months because the alters were basically fronting because Jess couldn't deal with like a lot of the stress and stuff. So basically you can go for months on end. You can go for years without actually seeing the person whose body it is. It does happen. What's the boys' favourite colours from Adam? Ed's is purple, same as mine. Jamie's is yellow. Jake's is red. Ollie's he said blue, but I know Ollie's favourite colour changes. That's what he is. Our previous host poofed. I tell you what, it's a prime example of what. So a cat's glade has really touched on that there brilliantly. it does happen. Not all bodily hosts are there anymore. So it's the same as meeting right, it's not the same. I was going to say it's the same as meeting a trans person, but it's not. But you follow certain rules with that. Ask what kind of pronouns or anything they've got that they would like to be called. My personal go-to gender-neutral pronoun is dude. I say that to a lot of female friends. I say it to a lot of guy friends. I use it for people I know which are trans or in any manner. But I will let them know in advance. I'll say I use the word dude for gender-neutral term. Is that okay with you? If they're alright with that, fantastic. How old's Ollie? Ollie is 15. So he's a grouchy little high school student and you think he knows everything. Yeah. Do the boys see Jess as a sister or just their host? That relationship differs. Jake very sees much Jess as like a sister and just like a friend. It differs though, I think. Do you ever miss Jess when she's not around? Yeah, definitely. I've gone for more recently. It's like been just days and stuff where I've not seen Jess, for example. Happens, yeah. They them is good. Yeah, they them is just a really really easy gender neutral pronoun. Like it really really is. If you want to find more about them, literally Google it. There are some mad ones which you may look at and go, "Oh, I'm bloody saying that," but at the same time, ask the person who you're speaking to. That's probably the best thing I can say. Do the boys have different tastes in music? Massively, yes. Oh my god. I would honestly say, out of every single person, I have probably got the widest taste in music, but I like my specific areas. Ed's more of a gothic sort of person. With that, I have no idea what Olivia was trying to write then. It's just a bunch of gibberish, unless it's a really bad translation. I don't know. Yeah, so Ed's is more like emo music, classic stuff, like My Chemical Romance, and so it's nothing. She doesn't like listen to different emo music, like brand new American football and stuff like that. So Ed, he doesn't. But he likes stuff. Oh Christ, what did the name? Shit, it's like a metally goth band. The lead singer is crap. I can't remember the name of it. Shit. Oh well. I can't remember. No, it's not Placebo. No, I know Placebo's like his favourite band, but it's that American one. They did that song, America.
Oh.
America. Then something. Emotionless in White. There we go. That's another big one. But Ed listens to like a lot of different stuff. Falling in Reverse. Yeah, Ed does like Falling in Reverse. He's got into them recently. Jamie's more of like a classic pop punk kind of guy. So Jamie's more, like All Time Low, Fall Out Boy, Wheatus, slightly maybe stuff like that. Jess does the same thing. Jess likes a lot of pop punk stuff. She reviews a lot of light pop punk, light rock, but she's stuff like Avril Lavigne and other singers like that. She's recently been to Churches, actually. Churches, I don't want to get this wrong. I'm pretty certain Churches are a British band, and they're actually really goddamn good, really really good. But she likes them. Jake's very much of like hip hop stuff. Like he likes really upbeat stuff, like a lot of Nicki Minaj and things like that. So that's where Jake's normally goes to. Jake's is very more uplifting music. Ollie's differs as well. I don't know. What are you into, man? Oh, there we go. Typical things Ollie likes. He likes alternative stuff. So Ollie likes a lot of grime and dubstep and stuff like that. So I apologise. I went on that sort of tangent for, pardon me, like this. Do all the boys age like Ollie? Yes, every single one of them age. Apart from Little Jake. Little Jake is stagnant. But yeah, that's. Do the boys have different sleeping patterns? Yes, they all sleep differently as well. So they all sleep differently at different times and stuff. Ed's probably the one that does sleep well when he's relaxed. If Ed's not relaxed or anything when he goes to sleep, Ed sleeps the worst by far. Wait, is Ollie active? Yeah, Ollie's sort of like around, sort of helping me with the stream, just keeping an eye on things and stuff.
Hello.
There you go. You got hello. But yeah, so I just thought I'd let you know. Can alters have triggers or just the host? Yeah, no, alters can have triggers. What you'll generally find in some cases, if the host notices a certain trigger, he'll bring out a certain alter. And sometimes it can happen vice versa, like some alters can be triggered out and stuff like that. But yeah, that does happen. Right. Do any of the otters talk in his sleep? Only Jake. Jake talks in his sleep. Jake talks in his sleep and lets out little snores. They're quite adorable, to be honest. I'm not even joking. But yeah, and Jamie snores a little bit now and again, and Jess now and again does a little bit. So yeah. Is there a second bed somewhere, or are everyone comfortable falling asleep next to me? Everyone's comfortable falling asleep next to me, thankfully. The difficulty came with little Jake when sort of he first came around. It was trying to make him feel comfortable, so we have a special blanket and stuff which helps keep him okay, and teddy bears and stuff. But yeah, it was difficult at first, but no, everyone's comfortable, thankfully, with that, so it's really, really nice. How does one switch? Does the body shut down when switching personalities? No. Some people can just switch like that, like literally just walk through a corridor in a room, or walk into the kitchen, and you can be talking to Jess, and all of a sudden she's just like, "What were you talking about?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, crap, Jamie's out now." Yeah, it differs. Or you notice mannerisms. You notice like, sorry. Or you notice like they just sort of stare off blankly at the space for a couple of seconds, and boom, change. Do the otters sleepwalk? No, none of the otters sleepwalk. Do you know how the boys feel about the idea of Jess potentially getting pregnant one day? Yeah, Sam's this. When we've had that discussion, it's gonna be a difficult one for the body to adjust and stuff like that. But that's one of the sort of bridges we're gonna have to get to when it happens. Never know how they're gonna react to it. But I think there's been a lot of like planning and stuff. I understand Jake, like I said, Jake gets a bit body dysphoric, but I don't know, that might eventually be gotten over, but we'll have to cross that bridge when it comes to it. Has little Jake been around more frequently? No, not very recently, thankfully. It's been more over the last like couple of years, but yeah, he's not been around a huge much, thankfully. That's not in a negative way. It's just trying to, I don't know, there's a lot to process and a lot to deal with the little Jake, like a lot. The alter cannon, injury. Yeah. A host is just never auto roll. Yeah, that makes sense, because again, the systems that we know and like Catsclade is an example of, where the host doesn't exist anymore. It can happen. It's the way your brain works.
15 minutes left.
15 minutes. Oh yeah, sorry folks. There's only actually 22 according to my clock on here.
Well, elapsed time says 1 hour 46.
Okay, well, all right. So
it's up to you.
What I'll do, folks, is just because I've got work in the morning, I've got another 22 minutes left on here, and I'll go from there. So yeah, I'll do this. Just quick message saying, "Hey guys, you're doing really great with this. Thank you, Lost in the Bag. That's really kind of you." It's the first time I've done anything like this, so this is a bit difficult. It's hard. I'm just trying to sort of see if there's anything in it. Any conflict on how I should let Gaz do his thing, but like, no, Kat, honestly, just carry on doing the way you're doing. It's not interrupting anything. I got no issue with you talk. Like, I'm liking the fact that people are interacting with each other in the chat. It's nice because you're able to give answers to certain people. You're able to respond to them. Everyone's, because you are going to be listening to me and also reading the chat. Sorry, I got a really itchy nose. It's going to make things a lot easier for me to deal with, actually. So I'm glad that you're doing that. Is Jamie excited for the perspective of Jess having a child? Oh yeah, goddamn, Jamie's motherly instinct is going to kick in like hell. It's going to be bloody brilliant. It's wonderful. So yeah, that's going to be a bit of a mad one. Sorry, I'm just sort of trying to read through some of the comments, I think. We were 22 and 23 when we found out we had DID, Stronghold. Yeah, again, a lot of people will discover it may discover that there's something different when they're teenagers, what Jess had. She didn't realise it was anything else like that. So yeah, it does differ. So I'm just messaging someone back on my phone. Sorry. Okay, how does co-consciousness work? Basically, co-consciousness is when you've got two individuals at the same time. You've got one which is in control of the body, and one that's basically there watching. It's like being a great example. Yeah, it doesn't only have to be one person. You can have a co-consciousness with a group of people. Think of it as you're driving a car. If you're riding a motorbike, you've got the person riding it, and you've got your passenger, essentially co-conscious with one person. If you're in say for example, a 4-seater sports car, you've got 3 around you. If you're in a 7-seater minivan, you've got 6. So yeah, that's how co-consciousness essentially works. You've got one person driving the bus, someone else as a passenger. That's probably the best description I would probably give it. That's what I think anyway. Cats, like, literally, don't worry. Honestly, I'm glad that you're helping. It's making my job a lot easier. So thank you so much. It's like making me feel a bit more confident. So yeah. Who's Little Jake? Sorry if I missed something. Little Jake is another alter. But he's a very enclosed individual. I can't really go into more thing about it than that. But yeah, it doesn't really go through. So yeah, it's a bit of a mad one. But yeah, basically the best thing I can probably say is Jess and the boys will have a lot more information on that than I will. So what I'd probably say is if anyone does want to try and know a bit more about Little Jake, ask about that when they next do a live stream. That's what I would personally say. That'll help because it'll help you lot understand a little bit more as well. And plus it'll help me because I can learn again because I watch the live streams when I can as well. What? Oh right, woo! I don't know what you were doing. I was wondering what the hell you were doing. How do you feel that you help with dysphoria? So like, I don't know in a way. If Jake's feeling dysphoric in any way about the body, I'll just be like, yeah, you can wear whatever the hell you want. You could do what he likes. He doesn't have to wear women's clothing or anything else. He can make himself comfortable and wear what he wants to do what he wants. But it's getting over that. He does get quite emotional over it. So yeah, it's I don't know. It's difficult sometimes, but it's one of the things that can be gotten over. But it is hard. It is difficult for him to deal with. It's difficult for anyone to deal with if you suffer any from sort of body dysmorphia in any way. The only thing you could try to do is adapt the body to try and suit you. But it's difficult with Jake because most people are quite happy to deal with it like that. So yeah, hey, no problem at all, Chloe. Honestly, it's absolutely fine. Thank you very much for your messages as well for helping me early get the live stream up and going because I completely forgot. So thank you so much. Let's have a look. So, is it really weird that I want to be friends with you guys? Nah, not at all. It's fine. We're great people, and I cook all right as well. So, who is the best hugger? Oh, right. Now, see, with that, obviously, my normal thing would just go to Jess, depending on the hug. But honestly, Jake. Jake's a really good hugger. Honestly, I'm not even joking with that. He's such a good hugger. Jake's such a good guy. Honestly. How often do I live stream? Me personally, I don't. Maybe once in a while I might live stream a video game on Twitch or something. But I very seldomly do it. I want to do it a bit more because I've got more into playing video games again recently. But I don't know, when I play it, I concentrate a bit too much, so I don't interact. But it'd be nice to do it. When will the next live stream be? I'm unsure yet. When the next one's on, we will have sticky notes around the house on the doors and the walls, so we can actually remind ourselves on the day that it's happening. So this doesn't happen again. So we're not an hour late, or I'm not an hour late. But that'll be dealt with a lot easier. I'm unsure yet, though. It might be in a week, it might be in 2 weeks, it might be in 3 weeks. But we will make you aware, and there will be new video content coming soon as well onto the main channel. If you could have a party with everyone, how would it go? If I could have a party with everyone, how would it go? It depends on if we were in the UK or America, because it'd be at Jake's house, most likely. But at the same time, it'd probably be at Ed and Jamie's as well if it was in the UK. But I know for a fact Jake would want to do a shindig in his London apartment, which would be sick. But yeah, it'd be most likely, it'd probably be at Ed and Jamie's house, and because they've got a huge pool and everything else. So like, a pool party, who the hell doesn't want that? I mean, I'm pretty sick to be fair. Ollie wants to be a dinosaur raw.
Shut up!
He just said shut up. Adrian, he means it with love. Or Adrian. Adrian, he means it with love. What's my Twitch? I actually can't remember, if I'm completely honest. Let me just quickly check a second, because I actually can't remember what how my Twitch is. That's why I'm just looking through this. What's my channel called on Twitch? I'll try it. What is my Tumblr? I don't really want to plug it, but at the same time I will. I barely post on it, really. So my Tumblr is... because I've actually got to type it out because it's a bit awkward. Chris Rex. So I made this Tumblr a couple of years ago when I was still like, nah, I'm in my 20s, but I'm an angsty, rebellious teenager. That's it. So, Chloe says hi, by the way. A lot of people actually say hi to you, to be honest, mate. Like, everyone's just saying, Ollie, blah, blah, blah. And they're all going raw in the comments now. I want to be a dinosaur too.
Stop shaming me!
Just So right, so Gazosaurus Rex is my Tumblr. Just thought I'd put that out. Who wouldn't want to be a dinosaur? I don't know. Those bastards are pretty extinct, so I mean, I wouldn't want to be. Just putting that out there.
Twitch Nightmare.
I don't know. I'm just gonna quickly check what my Twitch is now again. Sorry, folks. I know I'm behind. Like, mate, dino shaming. Oh my god.
I hate you all.
Like literally everyone is like just going crazy doing raws and let's all be dinosaurs together and shit. Amazing. This message is held for review. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to answer that. Let me have a look. Okay. How will your child refer to the alters? I don't know. I'm hoping as the names. It'll happen when we eventually have kids. It'll be nice for them to just go, "Hi, Ollie. Hi, Ed." Anything like that. Like they're speaking to us. So yeah, it'd be nice. That'd be cool. I like that. Ollie, the first boy dinosaur, mate. Like this is like cringy in a way, but at the same time, it's really, really funny. You're down for lunch drinks with a Canadian going on vacation? Yeah, why the hell not? I'd love to party with a Canadian. It'd be bloody awesome. That'd be ace. Has there ever been any jealousy with Ed or Jake when it comes to them spending time alone with you? No. It's no. So Ed's married to Jamie. Jake's a single guy. But no, there's no jealousy with anything else with us hanging around each other. We're all a big unit, so everything gets done really, really nice. Does Ollie still like dinos? Yeah, he kind of does, but I think it's past the stage when he was a kid. So yeah, it's definitely he still likes them. Can't deny that. Pardon me. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, that was really disgusting. How do you cope with so many people about Jess and Jake and the Alters? So how do I cope knowing so many people know about Jess, Jake and the Alters and all? Really easily. It's actually nice because they've actually been recognized. I know the channel's not huge, but it's not small. But they've been recognised a couple of times in public. Went out in like Newport and Cardiff as well, which is actually really cool. I find that really interesting. I think that's fantastic. And the fact that people know more about them, it helps me cope really easily because it means people know more about the condition. If they're willing to spend the time to click onto the channel to read about it, I think that's bloody fantastic. Honestly, I think it's absolutely wonderful. Also, having so many people interested in details of your life, were you ever weary about them deciding to go public to educate? Yeah, a little bit at the same time with anything like that, but yeah, it's all really cool. It's a bit of a weird one though with that because I'm really, really proud of them for going public with it because I wanted more people to be engaged with it, and Jess is such a good personality to try and talk to, and she's very well spoken with things, and she's able to articulate things in a good way that people will listen, hopefully. One of Little's is 7 and has a huge crush on Ollie. Oh, that's adorable. Oh, mate, that's actually really sweet. I'll say hi, Sid. Like, say thank you to them. I know for a fact he'd be like, he did just giggle a little bit and went, "Oh, thank you." Gaz, what was Ollie's first word? Hume, do you mean as out here when I spoke to him or as a kid? Because either one, I have no idea. I genuinely have no clue. I've been to Newport on a school trip years ago, Sam Sass. It's really disappointing, isn't it? Sorry, I know. What superpower would I want? Oh man. Oh, damn. I'm gonna think about that one in a second. Sorry, 7 in 1. Gaz, I'm gonna try one more time, but please, if you can help. How do you explain DID if it's disrupting your behaviours in normal life? I just need help. It depends on how it's disrupting your behaviour. If it's getting a bit too much to handle and process, I think a big thing, if you're not already doing it, would be to try and speak to a doctor. Depending on what country you're in. Do I like the name Snazzy Yazzy? Yes. Sorry, I know it's a bit off topic. Depending on what country you're in and what health system you have. If it's in the UK, it's not particularly great for mental health, but it's got a lot better over the last 5 years. Personally, I would say speak to a doctor, speak to some kind of therapist or something along those lines to try and help you deal with it as an individual, to help with that. With that then, I would also, depending on what aspect of your life it's interrupting, I would try to speak to people about it. If you've got some very, very close friends who are willing to listen to you, I would explain to them in a really calm, collected manner if you're able to. Don't worry if you get a bit emotional, a bit up with it, but just try to speak to people. That's my best advice that I would give, but go into it calmly. But yeah, like I said, the best thing I can do is speak to a doctor, speak to a therapist of some kind, as long as you're comfortable with that. And depending on if it's a work environment, as long as your work environment have got a good mental health policy and safeguarding in place, I would speak to someone there that you think you can trust, and see how they react with it, and then you can sort of base your reaction from there. So I do hope that can help in some way. 7 in 1. I apologise I missed it earlier, but yeah, I hope that can help you in some manner as well. I really hope so. So, but best of luck to you for the future. I really do hope it works out well for you. Superpower, and I'm going from that to down there. That's difficult. I know the typical thing is like, oh, I'd love to fly, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, it'd be cool having the ability to fly, but then you've also got to have the ability to withstand certain air pressure, but would that coincide with it? I would, oh man, telekinesis would be a very cool one, because you can obviously do a lot of different things with that. You can control people, you can read people's minds, you can control objects, move things. You could also use telekinesis in a way to strengthen your own body, which is fantastic. And it depends on the strength of your telekinesis. If it's anything like, I don't know, it's not. She doesn't become Raven in X-Men. I can't remember what Jean Grey's like deadly power name is, but like So it's I don't know, difficult one. Like, I don't know what I'm on about now. Shit. Yeah, that's probably what I go for anyway. So yeah, sorry. Alex. Right, let me have a quick look at this. Oh yeah, sorry, I've just managed to find my Twitch. I apologise. I remember I went off on that tangent earlier. I'd want to control the weather. See, weather control would be sick. Chloe said Alex loves you and just says hi.
Oh, thanks. Sorry.
Yeah. Ollie says hi back. Just to Becca and Alex. Just wanted to put that in there as well. So yeah. Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Cat's Glade. Yeah. I'm still gonna search for your Tumblr. I forgot about that actually. So I apologise about that. I'm just gonna do that quickly in the background. So Phoenix, Dark Phoenix. Yes, so it's Phoenix. Yeah. So that's sort of out when you can get over things. Are you guys gonna get any more pets? Potentially. But that really depends. Oh, sorry. Someone did ask earlier on what my favourite breed of dog is. That differs. I'm a fan of Shetland sheepdogs, like what we've got now. But I'm also a huge. I understand the health implications that they have, but I'm a huge fan of French bulldogs. Love them, absolutely love them. Get a chinchilla. I like one, but they're massive. I've got 3 guinea pigs, a cat, and a dog at the moment. I think that's enough. For the time being. I'd like a lizard of some sort, but it's trying to find somewhere to put it. It's the care to give into it and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's just one of them. There's actually a question for Ollie saying, what tattoo would you like? I think he's a bit young to know what tattoo he wants at 15. I think that's a big thing.
Dinosaur, mate.
He just said dinosaur, mate. Massive T-Rex on his back doing that. Like Steve-O. Do the boys have tattoos? Ed does and Jake does. Yes. Jake actually has like a Celtic tribal band going around his left bicep. And Ed's got different tattoos in different places. Get a terrestrial salamander. They'd be feel like having a salamander of some sort would be sick. I'd love something like that. It'd be really cool. Leopard gecko and things like that would be ace. But yeah, Ed wouldn't like it. Is it true that guinea pigs laugh if tickled? Right, so yes and no. Now they do, yeah, because they get tickled in different ways, and they go, brrr, they like do a purring sound. But if you tickle them in the right way, like they kick, like with their hind legs. One of ours, Hamlet, the oldest pig that we've got, pig called Ham. I was really sad. Sorry, it's nearly as bad if I dabbed. Oh, I did not just do that. Oh, I did that instinctively. I didn't want to dab.
He dabbed.
Oh no, I just need a mushroom haircut now and a bloody horrible crap tracksuit.
It's like that time where you squeed.
Oh, I did not just do that. Shit.
You squeed like it's 2009.
I did squeal like it was 2009. Oh, senpai, notice me. Shit, I've like missed like loads of these comments. Oh no, please no, don't you're not proud of me, Blue River. That's disgraceful. Oh, Jesus Christ. That was awful. Right. Right. Okay. So let me. I just sort of keep going through some of the comments again now, just sort of trying to have a look at sort of. I know I've missed a lot of quite important questions on certain things. Um,
5 minutes left then.
yeah, I think there's only about 5 minutes left on this as well, folks. Just thought I'd make you aware. It's not something I will kind of want to end kind of into the swing of things now, but I think if I'd have got this to this earlier, it would have probably been a bit easier to do. So I apologise about sort of this taking as long as it did to get into. I love you're like the meme guy. Do you like 9gag? I gotta be honest. I don't really like look at any content on 9gag. I gotta be honest. I'm not a user of it. So yeah. Ed and Jamie are together, right? No, Poetry and Love. You are correct. They are indeed married. How does Ollie's education work? Does he get all schooling he needs in the inner world, and do you teach him stuff? So Ollie learns a lot of stuff out here. Pardon me, like any altar. You can learn a lot of stuff here, but a lot of it, weirdly enough, does get passed through. Ollie's in a private school. No surprises there. Please dab again. It's wonderful. No, I'm not dabbing again, because if that gets clipped, I am not. No chance in hell. Not happening. Hashtag Gaz the dab. No, please don't. Please no. Please, can we not? Is Ollie watching this? Yeah, Ollie's actually sat out in the doorway, like what, keeping an eye on all this. Oh, for God's sake. Right. What comment was I replying to? Crap. Oh, Ollie's education. Yeah. So a lot of it, Ollie doesn't even need to know a lot of stuff here. He just knows it. Just gets passed through, which is really mad. Jess, for a massive prime example of that. Jess has never done any medical training or anything like that ever. Yet Jamie inside is a doctor, and there's a lot of stuff that Jamie will say and do, which translates over, and it's like, you have never done research on this before. How the hell do you know so much about it? It's mental, honestly. Does Jess ever switch when you're being cuddly, and how do I deal with it? Really easy. You learn over time. You sort of learn how people switch and different mannerisms and stuff. So if me and Jess are intimate or anything like that, or even just cuddling, I can notice when she's having a switch or anything like that. So yeah, it does happen. Yeah. How do I feel about the authors having their own relationship when you know that's still the same person you love? It's just one of those things. I've always said to Jake, because Jake's the main one I'd be worried about with things like that. But not in a way that he would go out and do anything. I've always said to Jake that if he ever needed to be his own person and he needed to date, he can. It's not like as a weird thing, like a cuck situation or anything. It's actually like respecting him as his own person. I think that's a big thing. That's what I do. So yeah. Let's have a look. We'll just develop. Shivangi, rather than saying we'll just develop a new altar, and how would I react if she developed a new altar? Because now and again, even now, some fragments will appear that I never knew about before or anything else. If that happens, I deal with it as I do anything else. I learn. I learn to try to adapt the situation and go from there. So yeah. Did I ever doubt the condition? Initially, probably when I first heard about it, it was a bit like, is it a thing? But I was just like, yeah, it's definitely a thing. There's no way, like, this is so extreme. There's no way that this could be made up. Like, there's not a chance. And it was the way it was brought about to me. It wasn't done in a, hi, online I have 7 different things going on. And it wasn't like done in like a MySpace angle. It was brought to me very professionally and everything else, and concisely put forward. So it wasn't done in a that sort of way. So yeah, no, I never really doubted the condition. No. Do I ever think like the inner world might be like an alternative universe? Yeah, no, 100%. That's the way I've always considered it, because that's the way sort of it helps me deal with it. So yeah, I believe it is. I believe if it could be, things can be pulled from there and out here. That would explain why a lot of information gets passed through and back and forth. That's why Jess can have no knowledge of a subject matter, and then it get passed through from Jamie or Jake, and it's like, how the hell, like, what? Hello from Mars. Thanks, Adrian. Nice of you to join us. The Wi-Fi signal must be pretty good there, because there's nothing in the way. How did I learn to tell who else is co-com? Sometimes it's, yeah, I can. So yeah, I can sometimes tell before she does, and it's down to certain mannerisms, the way they're holding things and stuff like that. It's pretty difficult. Can Ollie do an American accent? Yeah, Ollie can do accents surprisingly well. He does a really good impression of his dad. So he does a really good impression of Ed, but it's still really bad. But yeah, he can. So yeah. Is Ollie getting older? Yeah, Ollie's 15. I met Ollie when he was like 7. So yeah. do they prefer to be referred to as Jess, or is there another name for her system? It's literally just Jess as a whole, because they understand sort of like the social implications and stuff like that for work and friends. So yeah, it's just Jess. It is just that. Rightio, folks. I know a couple of people were asking as well about my Twitch. My Twitch name is, I'm just going to post it in the chat a quick second. So just in case anyone wanted to find me on any sort of social media, well, not any form of social media, but these two specifically. The first one is my Twitch username. The other one is my Tumblr. I don't really use a Tumblr a huge amount, and it's very seldom I use Twitch, but I do want to use it a bit more. So I just wanted to sort of make you all aware. So I'll just post it. I'll post it twice. That's it. If you wanted to find it, I'm on there. I will try. What I'm going to try and do, I'm going to spend 5 more minutes here, so I'm going to wait until 5 past. I'm just going to answer any quick fire questions that I see pop up that people immediately will answering. I'll only answer the ones that I haven't already. If I've answered it already, I'll say I answered it earlier. Try to give a brief synopsis, or someone might answer it in the chat. So yeah, I'll try and do that. When Ollie was younger, did you get bothered when you were with a big and Ollie came out? No, not at all. I got used to that quite quickly, thankfully. Ollie was probably one of the last ones I really met. But yeah, I got used to that really, really easily, so it wasn't a problem at all. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Winglets. Yes, really, really nice. Thank you. Get Ollie to do Ed's accent. I don't think he will, but I'll ask. Which Hogwarts house am I in? I am a Slytherin. I did do that, so that was good. Suggestions for alternative ways to manage lost time and get in routines. Post-it notes on walls. If you've got any sort of plans that you need to be done, set constant reminders and calendars on your phone. So you've got instant buzz reminders on your phone, but also get post-it notes and stuff on the walls of your house, so you can get instant reminders for certain things. I was convinced I didn't have the ideas. I can see, hear everything when all is out, though I don't have any control. My therapist says because my trauma started later, as a personality was more developed. I'm not 100% sure on that either, but at the same time, you're probably just constantly co-conscious with an alter, which isn't unheard of as far as I'm aware. So that would be, that's sarcastic. Well, that could be it. So yeah, where did the name Multiplicity and Me come from? Multiplicity is I think the actual name of the thing when there's more than one individual. I think it's not like categorized. Multiplicity isn't categorized. It's just a term. It's not categorized as like a condition. So it's multiplicity with Jess and her. So it's like that's where it came from. So Jess is intelligent as well. So yeah. Peytons, can I ask a question? Yeah, go ahead, Peytons. I'll try and keep an eye out for it now. Yeah, honestly, Tribute, I've enjoyed doing it. I don't want to seem like I'm rushing off. I have really, really enjoyed doing this for everyone as well, because it's been great fun to do. Hogwarts Houses for the Boys, we've never done them, actually. We've never done the Pottermore test for it. But they will do it eventually. They'll probably actually make a video out of it. It could be really, really good, because they've done personality tests and stuff. Gaz, you find a Chaos Emerald. What do you do? Let's see. Take Sonic back to the very early 2000s and try to get rid of everything over the last 15 years. Right, where's Papa's comment? It was really nice meeting you. I discovered Jess a few days ago and I've been really interested ever since. That's really nice, thank you. So where's Peyton's question? I want to try and keep an eye out for that because I know they said they wanted to ask one. Is there anything else I can follow you guys? Even somebody's like Jake's or Ollie. You'll find their Tumblrs through my page and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not a problem at all. So yeah, Potmore video will definitely be it. That'll definitely be a thing which happens. Yeah, it's really cool. No, honestly, folks, it's how was Manchester? Is where I live. Oh, Solar. Honestly, Manchester was amazing. I loved it. I had a stag do in Manchester the other 2 weeks ago. It was fantastic. I loved it. I love Manchester as a city, and I went to Bristol this weekend just gone. It's really cool. Would Jess be okay with Jake dating online? Likely not. I don't think Jess would particularly like it, but if it was ever done, it would be discussed about well in advance anyway. So yeah, it's one of those things. If it happened, it would happen. But it's not anything that sort of goes to do there. Peyton, I am still looking for your question. Okay, Chloe, didn't know that. Thank you. Yeah, I just want to know if anyone sees Peyton's comment by any chance, let me know because they did ask. I want to make sure I do. Gaz should dab his way out. Oh God, you lot, honestly, just for the people that sort of find the meme within it, I will dab as like that's how I'm going to sign out of it. All right, I promise. Honestly, and thank you to all of you saying thank you as well. I really enjoyed doing this. It was nice talking to you all, and I hope that anything that I've said can try and make sense in some ways. I know that some of the stuff that I have said isn't completely accurate, but I have had the support of a lot of the other systems in the chat, which has been really nice because it's not just Jess which suffers from this. It's not just me that goes through this as a spouse. There are other systems within the chat that have been acknowledging and commenting to people, which has been fantastic. It's been a really big joint effort, and I've had Ollie's help as well. So I sort of just want to like put out there that without them, I would have got a lot of stuff wrong tonight as well. So I'm still learning. I'm not going to know everything. So I just want to put that out there. I have not seen Peyton's comment yet. I just want to make that
There's a question
thing.
overall, guys, about supporting systems. Like, how do you support someone with the idea?
Oh right, okay. I haven't noticed that. Okay, right. Sorry, thank you. So how to support someone who's actually got DID? Listening is a big one. Listening and learning. I know I actually did touch on that earlier on. I did touch on that earlier. It's basically just about listening and understanding the condition itself. And don't be afraid to ask questions, but don't ask the wrong questions if that makes sense. You can't just go to someone, I want to know exactly what your trauma is, because that's just going up to someone in the street and just going, I want to see your genitalia right now in front of you. They're going to go, no, get away from me. It's a bit much. Did I accidentally delete my Tumblr? I don't think so. I thought I typed it right.
Gasosaurus-Rex.
Oh, I typed it wrong. I'm really sorry. Oh my God, me and my bloody dreadful writing skills. I'm sorry, that's correct. How can Jess talk to alters? So if you're code-conscious, in some respects, you can actually have conversations because it's like I said, it's like the analogy I used is that I know cat. I know. I'm sorry. The analogy I used for that is like if you're driving a car, someone is in the passenger seat. The person that's in the passenger seat or in their back is the person who's conscious with you. So that's how you could sometimes have conversations with it. So yeah, there's that. I've always wondered if Jess can imitate an American accent since Jake's accent is so clear. You know what? Funny enough, not very. I've never really heard Jess doing an American accent, but when I have, it's not particularly good. Like, yeah. Did Jess switch on your wedding day? Yeah, the wedding day, there was a hell of a lot of switching which went on. Jess was mainly at the forefront of it all, but yeah, there was a lot of switching going on because that was a really, really heavy day. Do I like D&D? Yeah, love D&D. I like D&D. Love D&D. Think it's bloody brilliant. It's a great thing to enthrall yourself into a different world. Pardon me.
You can see this.
Motherfucker.
You should show the camera.
DC. Bruv. Are you for real or what? Hold on, I'm sorry. I've got to distract from this. I said don't clip it. Are you fucking for real or what? That's not fair. How's that fair? What have I done to deserve this? Will I play a game of D&D with you? Yeah, like if you message me on any of the socials and be like, and to play D&D online because I know it's a thing. So yeah, I can do it. I'm gonna gif it. Oh, for God's sake, cats! Like I said, I've said I'm gonna dab on the way out just to appease like some of you monsters. I say some. I've been interested in psychology for a while now and wish to thank Jess and the boys for this channel, since after getting to know more of DID, I think I might focus on studying DID. The great thing with that Artemis as well is there's lots of other conditions that you can use the same wealth of information. Going into psychology is a hell of a difficult thing, but tell you what, to you doing that, fantastic. Honestly, get into it because it's a wonderful thing to do. Jess is a trained clinical and health psychologist. She went to uni for. She's now studying. She's on her second year of a psychotherapy degree, a postgrad that she's studying for 1 day a week. And yeah, so definitely do it. It's fantastic. Yeah, Kenshin. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's like it's obviously it's a more deeper question than being asked to show you genitalia, but it's kind of like that approaching someone randomly like that because everyone's just going to go, what? I'm not telling you that. So, is this the main account with Jess post video updates? Yes, it is. This is Jess's main channel. It's probably I probably should have done this on a secondary one, but this has like the most thing to try and talk to the most people. yeah, Ollie will never live down anything saying he wants to be a dinosaur, and now you will never live down dabbing. No, I won't. I can't believe. Um, yeah, it's just one of them. It's a bit of an awkward one. So, um, right, I still try. What's my favorite thing about being with someone with DID? Because why focus on the stressful? Yeah, exactly. There's not point focusing on stress. It's like that. That's the one question I don't get annoyed about answering the question of how do you cope. It's not me with the condition. Like that's the thing. I'm not the one suffering from it. So with that, it's them. I like the positives because they say every day is new. You constantly learn new things about them, the condition, everything else. Gaz dabs for Brad. Ah, mate, Brad. Me and Brad. Brad's my boy. I have autism as well. Oh, okay, brilliant, awesome. That's so you can't. So you bloody coping really, really well mind. Like it's not. Yeah, it's fantastic. I know I do have work tomorrow. I know I said I was going to go off, so I'm sorry. Right. I am just like sort of looking through this. What weird talents do the authors have that Jess doesn't? Oh man. Oh no, I was asked this question before. I was able to come up with loads. I don't actually know. Crap. Kim, I actually don't think there is a second account. I don't think. Well, what is a rude thing to ask someone with DID? Personally, I'd be like, can you switch in front of me? I think it's a pretty abrupt question because it's just like, well, no, not really. You've got questions like, I want to know the ins and outs of your trauma. It's like, no, eat shit. Certain things like that. You speak so fast, Gaz. I know, Monica. I'm sorry. I was speaking quite slowly earlier, because I know there's a lot of people in the chat who are not English, and even some English people do find that I speak quite quickly. So yeah, it's one of those. So I just sort of do that. Oh yeah, Labyrinth posted that. Do you have a violent one? That in itself, it's a ridiculous question as well. Do you have a harmful alter? It's like, just like, naff off. It's not going to develop a super strength power and throw you through a wall like in bloody... Oh, honestly. It's one of them. How do you approach meeting other alters? I haven't met my friends and we're both nervous about it. If you mean... approaching others alters, right? Okay, so you mean like if you know systems who have alters, approach them like you'd like to be approached. Approach them like a normal person. That's the best thing I could say. It's just approach them like a regular person. Don't think of them as an alter. Like think of them as an alter, but also just think of them like you're just dealing with another person. That's brilliant. Let's have a look. So I'm just sort of trying to sort of see, copying Kayla M's question. Does Jess refer to herself as singular or plural? I think Jess refers to herself normally as singular, as like if she's talking about herself. And when she's talking about the system, she does say the system. So yeah. Could someone with DID have control over switching? That's a dependent question. It depends on the situation. You can and can't control switching all at the same time, if that makes sense. It's not a switch you can just go, boom, I want to be Jake. Boom, I want to be Jess again. It's not that easy. So how do I prefer? Do I prefer Christmas or Halloween? I love Christmas. I love getting into the hype of it as well. But I'm a big Halloween person, even though we've lived in this house now 4 years and we've never really celebrated it. But this year I want to make that different. I really want to celebrate it. But I really like Christmas as well. Also, I know there was a question earlier on how do we deal with Christmas. We get each other different small gifts to deal with the boys. That's what I do it with. Sorry. For anyone wondering about my job, I work as an engineer. I repair things for a living, basically. I was a vehicle mechanic prior to what I do now. Now I visit people's homes and fix their stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope that sort of helps along with that. So yeah. What do I want to dress up for Halloween? I don't know. I actually want to do a few more like Comic-Con things and stuff this year, but I want to get into using like modeling foam and stuff like that to make different costumes. So yeah, so I'll do that at some point. Kina, it depends. It depends on someone's mind. The way that everyone's minds are different. So yeah, that really depends. Yes, sorry, Kira. I apologise. I know you're doing a lot of Notice Me Senpais, but I'm struggling to find what your original question. I'm so sorry. I really do apologise. I didn't mean anything nasty by it. I don't know why I was whispering then. Sorry. Yeah, Kira, post it again, or if yeah, I'll try and answer it as best I can. I know otters have their own internal world. What if they learn in what if they learn in real world a piece of information that contradicts their expertise in their internal world with the knowledge? It'll change most likely. That's the way it works. Not in everyone's cases, but it will. If it contradicts, boom, it'll go along with that. Oh god, no. Was the vocal for like going into that actually clear, and was it actually nice, or did it just sound muffled? Do you wish I could go to the inner world to see the boys? 100%. I would. Yeah, definitely. Do I let Ollie drink? Right, I will let Ollie have the odd sip of beer once in a while, but yeah, that is not very infrequent. And maybe a small glass of wine for special occasions on meals. Do alters get drunk? Yes, they do. Do the boys get Christmas gifts? Yes, they do. Can alters fight and be angry at each other? They can do. It's not something that normally comes out, but you can have co-conscious chats and things like that, and it can happen. When I first met the boys, did they already know who I was? Slightly, yeah. Some of them are big co-conscious with Jess when I've met them. Some of them haven't. Honestly, it was ASMR. Fantastic. How do alters find their own friends? Be yourself. Thankfully, we're in a prime time for things with meeting people. Used to be years ago. Don't you dare meet scary people off the internet. What do we do now? We go to social events to meet people off the internet. It's just one of those things. And murder rates are at an all-time low in comparison to what they used to be. Serial killers' jobs are done. That's probably really daunting. I shouldn't have said that. But you know, the best way I can say for alters to meet friends, just be yourself online. Just use social media, use Tumblr and stuff like that as a prime example, because there's really, really good people to meet. And you won't only meet other systems, you'll meet other systems, but you'll also meet normal people. It's just nice. Right, okay, let me... I know, sorry. Can alters have different religions? Yeah, 100%. Jake follows Buddhism, for example. I know it's more of a... I know Buddhism isn't normally considered like an actual religion. It's more considered of like a teaching. But yeah, Jake does that. I don't want to spam the same question, but I do want to know... to know the stream and what you play when you will stream. Oh, right, okay, sorry, new. So I apologise, I didn't realise I didn't answer your question. I will, now and again, I'm not very good at PUBG, but when I play it a little bit, I do get into the swing of things. I will stream PUBG. I just recently bought Far Cry 5, so I will probably play that stuff for a bit. I did stream, what is it? Bugger, I can't remember the name of it. The game where you make the viruses and kill people and stuff like that and try to eliminate the world. I've done that, and there's a lot of other games I really want to do, but then some of them are not going to be age appropriate. Like I really want to stream Sniper Elite, for example, but when you've got some of the things on that game, they're not age appropriate for some people. So yeah, but it'll change. I will stream soon. I want to make it like a once a week thing, potentially on weekends, but I'll see what happens. Plaguing, yeah, that's it. Alters can disappear. Yeah, it's a question I've answered a couple of times during the stream, but they can do. They can integrate or disappear. It happens, but they don't die. How did Jess react when you asked her out a few times and then when I proposed to her? Well, initially when I asked her out, she did refuse. It's just one of those things we work really well as friends, and then sort of like things just sort of like took a really nice turn. And yeah, it was really nice. It was really lovely actually the way things went. And when I proposed to her, I actually proposed to a chicken before her, because I put the ring on a chicken leg, like when it got given to her in a restaurant in Liverpool, which was nice. Have I played The Witcher? Yes, I have played The Witcher, and it's fantastic. And I need to give it more time, because I got into it and I went really deep really quickly, and it was like, oh crap. Honestly, thank you. So, is Ed a particular type of Wiccan? No, Ed's just a goth boy. That's it. In D&D, I prefer to play as a player in D&D, because I managed to make a character that somehow is just stupid. It's mental. It's really good. Fortnite. I tried playing Fortnite. Have a nice night, Chloe. Have a good night, lovely. Fortnite. I played a couple of times. And I'm like, it's not my cup of tea. But then if I like shooting things, I like shooting things. I don't like building walls. But I need to give it more time to try it. What's Ollie up to? Ollie is moderating the stream. Just make sure there's no ridiculous comments, which there really haven't been. Actually, everyone has been fantastic. Honestly, you've all been incredible. That comment that goes out to every single one of you. You've been wonderful. Thank you. But he's also just chilling and stuff. Yeah, DM is fun. For everyone going and everyone that has experienced the stream so far with me, thank you for being a part of it. I'm going to be going very shortly, and I've stayed an extra 20 minutes than I said I was going to. But just, I appreciate everything that all of you have done. So thank you ever so much for joining me with this and just being around, because it's been a wonderful experience to talk about things in different ways, but also to just engage with you lot, because I'm getting different perspectives from people who suffer from the condition and partners. I'm getting just a lot of advice and a lot of things. Yeah, so great. I should do a regular live stream called Gabbing with Gaz. Funny enough, I actually did contemplate the idea of doing something like that, because they're like, I know you get different places to do podcasts and stuff, but I'd like to do that and just talk about stuff I like. So, but yeah. Wow, it's 1:20 in the morning in Israel. Bloody hell. We've had a couple of people from Israel on this. It's amazing. Honestly, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us for this, and thank you for joining me and listening to me just chat nonsense. Honestly, it's yeah, I greatly appreciate that. So yeah, how old's Ollie? Ollie's 15. Why not let him drink? Yeah, it is, but it's the purpose of it. He's still underage. But yeah, something will happen. I will end up doing something in the future. 4 a.m. in India. Holy crap, dude! Wow. Again, thank you. So I mean, like I said, to every single one of you that's been part of this, has been amazing. I'll answer one more question from Miss Mississippi. Yeah, there are certain circumstances when a certain altar will come out near enough all the time. You get positive triggers for altars as well, not just negative. So if you have something like that and you want a particular person to try and come out, it won't work 100% of the time. But if you have a particular altar who likes, for prime example for Ed, red wine and dark chocolate being around the area and a nice bath bomb, that could be a pretense to that can basically, you sow in the seed for that altar to come out. So yeah, it does. And Ollie does play video games, yes, mainly Skyrim and recently The Sims Medieval. But folks, I appreciate everything you all have been a part of me today. So thank you so much, and for all of you coming all across the world to join this. I genuinely thought it was going to be a couple of people from England and maybe one from America. I wasn't quite expecting the sheer number of you which have come to join me in this, to try and learn things from my perspective and listen to me just ramble on and talk nonsense. I apologise if I haven't given you all the advice and answered everyone's questions. The next time that we do this, I will definitely do another one of these, that I can assure you, and I will answer more questions and everything else. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you ever so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to plug my Twitch and my Tumblr one more time because people were asking again. But yeah, I really appreciate it. And fan mail, stuff like that's fine. You can message me on whatever and I'll happily try and reply if I can. Yeah, just honestly, folks, thank you all so much. Because of the people that want me to dab on the way out, I hate myself for doing this. I really do, because this is against my better judgment. Hate it. I hate it. It feels wrong. Although at the same time, I could flex the bicep and do that. Just like, Anyway, thank you all very much. Have a fantastic night. Have a fantastic week. And we'll catch you all again soon. Bye.